evening, everybody, and welcome to the December 3rd meeting of the Hyde Park Planning Board. If you could all please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our first item on the agenda tonight is a new public hearing. This is for the Camp Victory Lake Auditorium. And we have the birthday boy in attendance. May I get a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Welcome.
Hello.
Somebody brought you a cup.
Yeah, you guys are the best. Again, I don't get this at any planning board meeting, so I really appreciate it. It makes it really pleasant. So I'm just going to reintroduce the project for the public's benefit, because I'm sure you guys all know what's up. But we're here tonight to discuss a 3,500 square foot addition off of an existing auditorium structure at the Camp Victory Lake site. We are calling this phase 0 because the modifications are to rectify a little overzealousness in constructing some improvements without permission. So what we're here tonight is to legalize those improvements and bring the building into building code compliance with this addition. The addition itself is going to provide an auditorium or an atrium space for entry, as well as bathrooms, which are required by New York State Building Code. The project also includes the installation of a sprinkler system for this structure, which includes a tank, which we are proposing to bury. We're also going to be formalizing 2 open-air pavilions on the outside of the structure, which are already there. So one of them will have to be removed because of building code and then reconstructed, but that's no big deal. And we're also designing a small parking area and a stormwater management system that will treat and manage stormwater generated by the existing facilities and the proposed facilities. So as you'll notice that in the comment letters, this is all part of the master development plan prepared for the camp that was approved previous years. So we've incorporated these improvements as part of that master plan. And I know that I owe you guys some revisions to the plan. I had missed the deadline, so I figured, you know what? I'm not going to put in a half a submission. I'm going to wait, see if there's any public comment.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you, thank
You know,
you.
I have to look at half submissions too, so.
That's how you get a cupcake.
Yeah.
That's why that cupcake is
To all
there.
of you out there.
So I figured, let's get any public comment tonight so I can revise the plans accordingly and resubmit everything that's addressing all the comments from the board, their consultants, the fire department, and any public comment we receive tonight. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you or the public may have, and that's it.
Thank you so much for that,
Thank you.
that wonderful overview. And we do appreciate that you're now going to give us a full submission. I'm going to just take a swing around and see where the comments are. Tad, any comments on this?
No comments.
Ms. Franson?
We have our comments from our memo that'll get addressed. Thank
Okay.
you.
Ms. Polidoro?
No comments.
Mr. Tuttle?
I have no comments.
Ms. Wasser?
No comments.
Mr. Oliver?
No comments.
Ms. Lee?
Happy birthday, no comments.
Thank you.
And Mr. Curcio? No comments. Okay, so nothing here. I would like at this time to ask, are there any members of the audience who may have signed up to speak to this application? Ms. Whitman, did we have anybody sign up for this?
Any more noise?
So?
I'm here.
Yay. No one signed up,
for any
okay.
of our public hearings.
Okay,
All right.
all right.
Well, that makes revising it easy.
There you go. Not a lot of comments to incorporate. So we're looking to adjourn the public hearing. What would you like?
I guess it would be the January 8th meeting.
7th?
7th? Darn, I was one day off. Jan 7th?
Okay. May I get a motion to adjourn the public hearing for Camp Victory Lake Auditorium to January 7th, 2026?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you for coming out.
Awesome.
Hopefully you have the rest of the night free and you can have yourself a wonderful dinner and a cupcake.
And a cupcake. Well, thank you again, everyone. I really appreciate it. And
That's right.
I'll see you on Gen 7.
All
Happy
right.
birthday.
Thanks,
Happy
everyone.
birthday.
Yes, I'm sorry.
First on the agenda,
I know.
being out at 6:05.
Right?
No, this is so speedy. Cool.
All right,
Thanks, everyone.
don't drop your mic.
Like everything.
This is my first cupcake.
Our next item on the agenda is another new public hearing. This is for the Haviland Mobile Home Park Lot merger and site plan. May I get a motion to open the public hearing, please?
So moved.
Second.
And I think we might have to do that for both of them, right?
We said it together.
Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, welcome back.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
I'm Jason Pittengaro from Pittengaro and Doach, and with me tonight is Lena Lee from Pittengaro and Doach. We have been representing Haviland Mobile Home Park, which is a project to really just make general overall improvements throughout the mobile home park. We have just finished with the improvements to the water treatment plant, which were required or requested at least by Dutchess County Water and Health Department, and that's been accepted and is now operational. And we've also completed wetlands delineation that redefined the wetlands boundary in accordance with the new New York State DEC regulations. And we've done a number of other things, including work to consolidate the various parks into one to just allow for better planning and operations of the facility and to comply with the requests of the town. So we're here tonight for a public hearing to hear any comments from the public. There really isn't, again, much new construction that's proposed. There's the relocation of two existing mobiles that will be removed from floodplain area, and when they are relocated, will be out of floodplain area. Prior to constructing those homes, we will obtain separately DEC approval for disturbance of adjacent areas with grading that will need to be occurred to incorporate those outside of the floodplain. And besides that, there's really no new construction throughout the site. We had previously obtained approval to build the water treatment plant itself, which was required, and again, that is complete at this point.
Excellent. So basically, you're trying to take, how long has this park been around?
This park has been around, I would guess since the 60s. I'm not 100% sure, but I would say from the vintage of some of the improvements there, I would say probably sometime.
Okay.
Like that.
So you're taking an old park and trying to bring it into compliance with the new laws and the new site standards and a DEC and make it hopefully less prone to any of the homes, less prone to flooding, right?
Sure, and also just generally improving the overall character of the park, in which obviously that's an improvement for the community, and it's an improvement for the ownership entity as well. It helps attract residents and just as an overall improvement.
Excellent, thank you. We appreciate having you in our town. I'm going to start. Did you have anything that you wanted to show us tonight, or?
I believe we've addressed the majority of the comments.
I know last time we were walking through a lot of the items on the map, and I know Tad was looking at a couple of sites, making sure that she knew exactly where some of these changes were happening.
Yep, I think Tad might have had a few comments at when we brought the plans in that she had emailed over to Lena, which I certainly think could be addressed, hopefully as a condition of approval. I think we've addressed the majority of the engineer's comments, as he has noted. I think we've addressed the planning comments as well. We are open to consideration in terms of how monumentation, if there's some difference from how we've shown it, could be placed, but would gladly have the project surveyor work with.
It's not a long list, in other words, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, let's start with Tad. Tad, do you have any comments on here?
The only thing that I have not finished looking at is the
relocated two homes. Yeah. The last I saw, I wasn't sure how the grading was going to not impact the, I think it's the wetland buffer.
Okay. It had to do with the size of it? The size of the,
I got to look at all that
okay,
stuff.
all right.
Just in regards to that, I do think there will be some impact to the buffer, and we acknowledge that, and we'll make a separate permit application to DEC for that prior to doing any work on those sites.
Thank you.
Do that now.
Right, what's the order of operations?
Yeah, how do we do that?
Yeah, right, oh,
Hasn't that been figured out already, where you just like realized you needed a DEC permit?
Well, it's only, well, no, it hasn't been figured out because we just finished the delineation. So what we would ask is that that be a condition of occupying or using those two sites of the approval.
Normally, we wait to see what DEC says, because otherwise you have to come back and amend your site plan application.
So it has been discussed with them during the walk that we did, and we do not feel from that walk and the recent delineation that we're going to have any issue with that. But again, that's up to, I guess,
well, yeah, and it could never hurt to maybe just reach out and verify
Sure.
that. We wouldn't want you to get stuck waiting to get through their process for some of these items.
No,
And
it's a permits issue.
have you come back, I don't know, either to extend the site plans or make any other changes, so.
Yeah, I think we can, so usually we get something from DEC that says conceptually they're okay with how you've shown on the plan.
Yeah.
But ultimately, any approval will be conditioned on getting the permit. So I don't know that the plans would be signed until the permit's issued. But at least from a perspective of getting to a decision, it's just useful to have something from DEC saying they're not going to have a major issue with what's being shown.
We would be okay with that if we could move forward in that direction.
Yep.
I think we could obtain,
I think that helps both parties, actually.
sure, I agree, and I think we could obtain the acknowledgement rather quickly from them.
Okay. Anything else, Ms. Moss? Okay. Ms. Branson?
So
Thank you, by the way.
you did respond to my comments from my November memo in your updated submission, and the wetlands is, for me, the primary open item, because that really then influences other things. But we'll do a final review, but I think a lot of what we had raised was addressed. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sotero?
Yeah, we just had a few outstanding, things, nothing, major. The plat set was rearranged from the prior submission, so now it's in order. And, as Jason said, this is going to have to be signed by a New York State licensed surveyor, not, the engineer. So that'll be done before the chairperson signs the map. And then Jason mentioned about monumentation. We normally look for one or two monuments. This site may be a little tough, but why don't Tad and I come up with a couple locations? We'll send it to you, and then you can add it to the plat. And then one of our conditions of approval is that the monuments have to be put in before the chairperson signs the plat, so that we make sure that we know that they're in. So really, we'll get you that on the monumentation. And, we're not going to obviously put something in the back because it's going to be in the wetlands. So there's not too many areas that we can pick here, but we'll send you something. So other than that, that's it.
Excellent. Ms. Polidoro?
No new comments.
Thank you. Start at my left. Mr. Tuttle?
Don't think I have anything else. It sounds like it's okay. I mean, so we would be adjourning this basically, but we would not be closing the public hearing on this until we got something from DEC essentially that says, so whether that's the next meeting or after, something we can discuss, is how far we need to adjourn this to account for that. But, yeah, that's the my only comment.
So you're doing the consultation method, not the 90-day waiting method, right?
Yeah, we would, I
Okay.
mean, we've already completed the whole delineation, so there's no need to wait the 90 days. We will be
Okay.
able to contact them pretty much immediately.
Okay. And that makes sense to. at
Yes,
this
I mean,
point.
that's fine by me. I mean,
Yep.
at the end of the day, like, it's, you know, if there ends up being a problem and you have to come back for a revision, that's a burden on you, which we'd all like to avoid, but.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and I believe we have email correspondence with the DEC on that. So when I walked the site with the DEC, we explained what we were doing, the septic replacements and the mobile home replacements, and they didn't really have any problem with it. They just said that any groundwork, so the new 2 mobile homes that require groundwork disturbance will need a permit, and then the septics will need a permit due to it being within the wetlands buffer, but they're aware of what we're doing. They didn't really have an issue with that, so I can...
Right, so it shouldn't be a big deal to maybe just email them and ask
Yes,
them
I can
to-
forward
yeah.
the correspondence or send you guys that as well, so.
So it sounds like we need some correspondence from them, not just on the disturbance, but also for the permit for the septics as well. Okay, so yeah, we'll just need both those in writing.
Yeah, I can get that to
Yeah,
you guys.
and they're usually happy to, put something like that in. They understand the documentation and the need for keeping a record.
Yep.
Great.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Waters?
Nothing.
Huh?
Nothing.
Ms. Wasser?
Nothing additional.
Mr. Oliver?
No new comments.
Ms. Lee?
No comments.
Mr. Garcia?
No comments.
Okay. Would anybody in the audience like to speak to this? I don't believe anybody's signed up in advance, but this application is here for a public hearing, and if you'd like to say anything. Okay. So I did have one question about planter boxes. I think that might, I'm sorry.
Not for me, but I would speak on that.
That's our planning board representative,
Ah,
town board representative.
and I'm sorry. What?
I'm Gregory Campus, Town Board, but
Yes.
I also live in the neighborhood. So
Oh, okay, great.
Come on up.
Come on
Yeah.
up. You can.
I wait, with the question that you had.
Oh, all right, yes. So there had been some questions about the planters. I believe they had been moved somewhat on paper, but I'm not sure that, and Tad, maybe you can help me with this, because they had been in the right-of-way, and they've got moved out of, or they're looking to move them out of the right-of-way. But in general, we're looking for, because it was a street name, kind of a,
Yeah.
putting street name on the planter.
Yes.
And a planter, so they were going to be, so I guess the question is, do we have detail of that?
We can provide the details, since we weren't changing anything besides the location. We didn't provide any further detailing of it, but if you'd like, we could provide
I
it.
think so, because they're going to be fairly prominent, and they're going to be used to do location, and,
They submitted, yes.
yes, we have photos, but I believe that we should consider them as site plan elements.
And they're going to remain the same with the name on them?
That was the concept, yes. Just relocated within the setback, the building setbacks.
And was the color changed on them?
We weren't intending to. There was some discussion of the color at last meeting. I don't know that it was found disagreeable, but again, I don't think that there's an issue if we do need to change the color. We just would prefer some guidance if there is some disagreement.
Oh, we'd love to give guidance on color.
Okay.
Some of us do. It's not my forte, but there are members here who are very good at that. The previous chair's favorite color was blue. That's all I know.
But
it was a
we're already blue, so we're in good shape.
And it was a special blue. It was a very special blue. So, so we'd like to see these, the detail on the site plans, correct?
Yes, the detail and what will be in them. What's the intent?
Like
Was
what
it-
they
I don't
plant,
think-
yeah, plantings.
You know, some people will plastic flowers and things, and that's not something that the planning board typically does.
No, we would not want that.
I don't know whether they would do that or not.
Nice annual mix is always good.
Okay.
Maybe
So,
an
yeah.
evergreen shrub.
Are there any other things that I'm not remembering? Did you want to come up and?
Yes,
You might as well.
Madam Chair.
Come on down, sit down, grab a microphone, please.
Thank you. I'm Gregory Campus, Hyde Park, 3rd Ward Town Councilman. The reason why I was speaking, because I was under the assumption that they were going to remove totally the planter boxes. For whatever reason, property owners can do what they wish. I know there's a 25-foot right-of-way from the center of the roadway as well. I think that they're keeping them and just moving them back. I think it's a good idea. For some people, it's a little gaudy, but I'm still waiting to hear public comments from people that live across the street and elsewhere, about that as well. But since it sounds like they're going to keep them, I have no issue with that, and that's what I would like to see happen there.
Excellent. Great.
Any questions?
Any preference on your color?
That blue color stands out. The further back they are, I think the more people can see the names on,
Because they're
those
directional,
roads
right? They're going to help
earlier.
people
Yes.
find their way around.
Absolutely, yes. Okay.
Thank you,
Got it.
thank you so much for speaking.
For code purposes, are they considered permanent structures or signs? Or what are they considered?
They're considered a structure, right?
Even though their size is below.
In the code.
They're considered structures. An address is exempt from a sign permit if it's under, I don't remember whether it's 1 or 2 square feet.
There are sign posts
Right,
that
there
I
are
see
road-
around town that seem to be part of what Hyde Park, the town, has put up in the.
Oh,
in the
make sure
area.
you use,
Yes, there are signs, signposts, white signs with dark colored lettering that are out front or behind each planter box.
Okay.
But they're also around town as well. They're not just in that location.
okay. All right,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Would anybody else like to speak to this application? Okay, so, do you have any more questions about what you might need?
No, it seems like at this point, all we really need to do is to get some confirmation on that email that Lena has received and forward it
Yes, yes.
to the board for their
Yep.
review.
And would they need to put in a sheet that shows, the location of the planter boxes?
They're on the plan.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, okay.
So we can just
Okay.
quickly, separately provide a detail for the plans.
material sheet,
And
yeah.
then ultimately be incorporated onto the detail sheet of the
Perfect.
plans.
Perfect. All right, so when would you like to have this public hearing adjourned to?
Honestly, as soon as possible, because I do think that the correspondence from the DEC is forthcoming since they've already opined, and drawing the detail for the planners is going to be very straightforward because they're existing.
Okay.
So just the soonest meeting is
The
possible.
17th?
Of December?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, may I get a motion to adjourn the public hearing for the Haviland Mobile Home Park Lot merger and site plan amendment to December 17th?
Second.
All in favor,
And
please
if-
say aye.
Aye.
And if the determination is made on the monumentation, we'll represent that on the.
Yeah, we'll get it to
on
you
the
this week,
plans
yep.
For that meeting as well, too.
Okay, great.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
You too.
Thank you.
It was all ours.
No, they're all, they were both open together. And we adjourned them together. All right, the next item on the agenda is another new public hearing. This one is for the Belfield PUD Phase 2B subdivision. They're looking for preliminary and final plat approvals. Good evening.
Good evening. All set?
I'm all set.
Okay, thank you.
Except, may I get a motion to open the public hearing, please?
I'll make that motion. Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for having us tonight. Larry Boudreau, Belfield, and Jared O'Connor to my left, Belfield, of course, Jennifer to my right. Thank you for having us again. This is, as you may recall, we had to add a Lot 4A, and we peeled that out of Lot 4, and we gave the reasons mainly to get IDA benefits for the, and we explained that in detail. If you had any questions on that, we can speak to that, but pretty straightforward. The plat you've seen before, it was very close to final previously, then we added the 4A, and as a result of that, we had to have another public hearing.
I think that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, it does, it does. So if there's any questions?
Well done, Larry.
Yes,
Yeah,
very nice.
thank you. Thank you.
Short and sweet.
I'm curious how creating a road lot helps with the IDA financing.
So I'll run through that, and then Jared can add to that, but what we're after,
Like a 1 minute explanation. I don't know.
1 minute.
Just 1 minute.
1 minute.
Whatever it takes.
So we did that so that we could obtain IDA benefits. And the idea is that when the HOA becomes active, we didn't want that road to be pulled into it yet, because once it is, you can't get the IDA benefit. So we keep it separate, and it'll make it part of the master HOA when it's completed.
Okay.
Interesting.
You want to add anything, Jared?
It's mostly just a timing issue, the timing of when the site work will be done, because the IDA benefits apply to the sales tax exemption benefits on certain materials that are purchased. And those can only be utilized when the IDA benefits apply to the lot that they're on. Once the lot moves into the master association, it's owned by a different entity. The IDA benefits don't follow with that. So it's just a timing between when that lot gets conveyed to the master association and when we're finished with our site work.
Okay.
Right, and the follow-up to that is the master HOA has to be active when the townhouses come online. So that's the key. They're going to come online before we're finished with the road in front of Lot 8.
Interesting.
Jennifer, do you want to add anything?
No,
All
I
set?
think
Okay, sorry.
Wow. We learned so much up here through these projects.
Okay.
Okay.
You were over by 15 seconds on that.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
The 3 minutes?
No, we're going into that now. So I'm going to do a little circle around here.
Okay.
Tad, any comments on the subdivision here?
No comment.
Ms. Frenson?
No comment.
Mr. Sotero?
No, any comments that I had were provided, today, and are incorporated into the resolution.
Thank you.
So,
Yep.
we're good.
Yep, there was a lot of back and forth. So, Ms. Polidoro.
Yeah, we carried
Thank you, by the
over
way.
a lot of comments from the preliminary approval. If you've met them, great, but
Yep.
you sent us some stuff last week that we didn't get a chance to look at yet.
Yep.
So the conditions are there, and I'm sure it's stuff that we can work out once everyone digs in and Lynn takes a look.
Yep. Yeah, well, we read through the resolution. Everything looked good to me.
Okay.
And Jennifer.
Great.
Yeah, we have a great team. They're so good. Okay, Mr. Tuttle.
Comments?
Mr. Waters.
No, everything seems to be addressed.
Ms. Wasser.
No comments.
Mr. Oliver.
No comments.
Ms. Lee.
No comments.
Mr. Curcio.
No comments.
Okay. So we do have a resolution prepared tonight. Oh, I'm sorry. Would anybody in the public like to speak to this application? This is for the subdivision at Belfield for Phase 2B. Okay. No comments? No comments. So we've opened. We have a resolution prepared.
I have that.
Yeah, we need to
But
close
we
it.
can close the public hearing.
Yep.
May I get a motion to close the public
So
hearing?
moved.
Second.
Second.
We can't wait to get this thing closed.
Now, you're not going to
All
add
in
a lot
favor, please say aye.
4B, right?
Aye. There you go.
He didn't hear that.
Mr. Hall.
Resolution to grant conditional preliminary and final plat approval, Bellafield Phase 2B subdivision, Lot 8, Lot 4A, and lot line revisions, Lots 1, 4, and 7. Resolution number 2024-40B, whereas. Be it further resolved that the planning board hereby grants preliminary plat and final plat approval to the project as shown on the final plat and authorizes the chairperson or her authorized designee to sign the subdivision plat after compliance with the following conditions. 1, payment of all fees in escrow. 2, revision of the final plat to identify the specific sheets and dates of the informational plans on the file with the planning board secretary. 3, revision of the informational plan to confirm that sidewalks of adequate width can be constructed within the right-of-way within the chosen road profiles. 4, revision of all sheets to correct spelling of carriageway. 5, revision of sheet SP1 to revise the chart to include Lot 4A and correct all other lot acreages and correct the table of areas. 6, approval by the attorney to the planning board and planning board engineer of deeds for the lot line alterations, including from Lot 7 to Lot 4, for area to be conveyed, and an undertaking from applicant's attorney to record such deeds with the Dutchess County Clerk once the final plat is filed with the Dutchess County Clerk. 7, revision of the existing and proposed easement chart on SP3 to include all easements, including any required grading easement for Lot 8 and easements to and across Lot 4A. 8, approval by the attorney to the planning board and the planning board engineer of public access easements, sanitary sewer easements number 8 and number 9, revised access easement number 3, access easement number 4, proposed storm sewer easement number 4, and any other easement, covenant, and restriction applicable to Lot 8, Lot 4A, and revised lots 1, 4, and 7 as applicable, and an undertaking from the applicant's attorney to record the approved easements with Dutchess County Clerk once the final plat is filed with the Dutchess County Clerk. 9, submission of a certification by the surveyor of the meets and bounds descriptions for the amended lots and the easement areas with map checks attached. 10, revision of the final plat to include a monument setting chart indicating when corner monuments shown on a plat will be installed. 11, submission of documentation from the Dutchess County Water and Wastewater Authority approving the change to proposed water line easement number 5 revised and water line easements 6 and 7. Be it further resolved that prior to the zoning administrator authorizing issuance of a certificate of occupancy for any structure on lots 8 or 4A, the concrete monuments and iron rods shall be installed at the corners of lots 4A and lot 8 to the satisfaction of the zoning administrator and the town engineer in accordance with the monument setting chart.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Well, they're all over the place.
The next item on the agenda is another new public hearing. This one is for the CIA Hotel and Villas. This also includes a project at the, at what we call the old Coco's building. Thanks, Michael. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
I'll
Yeah,
share
I
it.
don't need that here. I mean, no disrespect, Michael, of course.
I don't want to take your last one.
I'm just trying to get low on this. I'm sorry.
May I get a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Welcome. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, hi.
Dr. Lou.
That's low.
Where is
Oh,
he?
what, yeah, what time is it? Where is he at?
Lou is, it's 2 in the morning.
Oh.
He's overseas. He wants to be here, but he can't. But he's with you here in spirit.
I believe it. I can't believe he's on that.
Wow.
I can't believe technologically I had anything to do with bringing this.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So we just received today a brand-new submission, the updated materials. So normally, we would want to have the time to review, so just keep that in mind, that we may not say a lot tonight.
Understood. Did you want to open the public hearing?
We did.
Just
Oh,
did.
I'm sorry.
You were busy with the
You
technology.
were technology there.
Very
with,
good,
with
okay.
Lou.
All right. Well, we want whatever you were giving out to other people.
Cupcakes? Would you- Is it, but is it your
Everybody
birthday?
seems so happy.
Listen, it's got to be your birthday.
No, they want resolutions, is what they
okay.
want.
Right, well, or just a cupcake.
Aw.
Take that.
When's your birthday?
Okay.
Yes.
So, want to thank you all for opening the public hearing and all the feedback that you've given us since the last meeting. We really appreciated it. We worked hard to address some of these outstanding issues and to obviously be responsive and complete. Hopefully you got, and I know this is the last second, but hopefully you got a chance to at least look at the cover letter that we sent in advance, because we tried to at least address the newer issues that have been raised. We also made that submission today of the full revised drawings and architectural deck and the secra, red line secra. Much of that, probably most of that, has already been before you in our various responses. It just needed to be put onto the documents and recorded for formal purposes. But what we'd like to do today is just have Michael and Chris quickly go over some of the newer issues or some of these issues that we touched on in the letter, the cover letter, and try to discuss with you specifically the updated COCO renderings that many of you have given us good feedback on, as well as discussion of the road connection design, which we've studied, responded to, and what we've tried to do is come up with a feasible and responsive plan that you and the county have requested to make it possible for the road connection in the future, to take the traffic off of 9 and to address that safety issue. We also, as you saw in the cover letter, I just wanted to point out, have made the commitment or prepared to make the commitment that we would do nothing, and we would expect to see this in our site plan, any site plan determination or secret findings, that we would do nothing in the future with respect to the site, physically or otherwise, aside from the site plan that's before you, that would in any way preclude the design for the connection that we've showed you without coming back to the town and coming back to you. So that's a commitment that we're making. We think it's a feasible design. We'll go through it, and we will not do anything that would preclude that in the future. We continue to hope that, you know, with the information that we provided today and will provide today and in the updated submission, that you have sufficient information concerning the impacts of the project to be able to make at least a secret determination, with the understanding that there's still a couple of issues for site plan review that we need to resolve. That was sort of the sequencing in the format that you sort of addressed this last time, but It's, as you know, we've discussed that it's important for the timing for the project and our dealing with the other involved agencies, most particularly the town board and the ZBA, to at least be able to get the secret determination as soon as possible. So with that, what I'd like to do is turn it over to Michael to start, and he's going to cover a couple of the issues that you've raised and we tried to address in the cover letter, and then Chris will take over and do. I know you've got a schedule behind you or matters behind us, but we wanted, knowing that we gave you this pretty late, at least go through it and present it to you now. So.
Yeah, I would just want to start by saying that the deck you guys got today is really just modified drawings based on the comments. So it's the first set was sent in September, and hopefully we can get through it relatively quickly, but we understand. All right, I always like to start with this image because doing anything to Coco's is an improvement. So it makes it relatively easy to design something for this corner. But I wanted to start by just saying that we recognize this site, and it's been even more brought to our attention that this is kind of the gateway to Hyde Park. It's such an important site. We see it as an important site because of that, but we also see it as the front door to our development. So, you know, we're looking at this as one of the most, the best opportunities we have to impress people when they first get there. But we see it as the gateway to Hyde Park as well, just as much as to our site. I just want to start because I did hear that there were some questions about what the actual building is going to be housing. We sent this in the cover letter, but it's our shipping. Well, I'll start with the retail space because that's really the big iconic statement we're trying to make here. They're negotiating with potential tenants here that will be a complementary use for the resort and for the CIA. Could be a marketplace. They're working with a lot of different potential options here. So that's kind of what they're considering. We don't know yet, but the retail space, about 10,000 square feet of net retail space in the front of the building. As we work our way to the back, I think you guys were asking about what's going on back there. So it's our shipping and receiving areas. We have some security offices, some secured storage, some engineering offices, some linens and laundry, and employee lockers and restrooms on the ground level. On the upper level, the employee cafeteria and the kitchen are there, a commissary kitchen, management offices, server rooms, and some storage for the tenants that will own property here on this site. So it's kind of the nerve center of the operations of the development. And I wanted to go through the process really quick. I had a really nice phone call with Rob and Gigi the other day. Appreciate you guys' time. They gave me some great some suggestions here that I'll show you. This started as kind of a warehouse building in the back of our space. Obviously, that was not met with great enthusiasm. Not by me either, honestly. So as we started to develop, you guys will remember in the submittal we sent in September. This was essentially what it was, and I'm sorry, these are just off a little bit, so I gotta just adjust with some of this. And we started to work out some of the issues that we had, creating some different articulation on the elevations with some gables and such that would be applied to the building. I didn't get the warm and fuzzy from Rob that I've gotten in the past on this, so he and I kind of talked it through a little bit, and we came back and started to look at other options here of what we could do with that back building. And I'm going to have to do this again. You'll see that that building was rendered a little too tall in this original. This is the original rendering that you see back here, a little too imposing. This was very, very high. We had utilized the full 40-foot height at that time, and it really kind of was out of scale. And we agreed with those comments and felt we needed to come back and adjust that a bit. So I think everybody was happy with the direction of the teaching kitchen building, which we're excited about, and we want to keep going. But you'll see in these sketches really quickly, I'll run through these fast. We started to do some axonometric studies, and we've come up with a way to build that rear part of the building using a gable shape, a much more residential scale, down quite a bit. We don't even come close to the 40-foot height that were allowed there. We feel like we needed to get closer to the ridge lines of the front part of the building. So you can kind of see as we looked at this, studying how the massing would make more sense. So what I just handed you guys, the 4 pages, are the updated renderings and elevations. We're super excited about where this is going. I'll zoom in and try and get to it. There we go. Okay, so you guys asked us to take a look at the north, the view that you're going to see coming from the north. What's really interesting here is this strip center and where our new footprint of the building that moves north of where Coco's is today. It gets blocked pretty quickly. I know that everybody's concern was, oh my gosh, we're going to see this big giant building in the back. You can see here very clearly that you're not going to see a lot of the building behind, but I think what we've done here is created an extension of the edifice of the north side of the building that is in keeping with the architecture and the style and the massing and the architectural language. We also, a big move here at the request and the suggestion of Gigi and Rob, creating a gable end on this side of the building also really is a better solution, and I thank you guys for the recommendations there. You're going to see, and Chris and Labella will go through a little bit more about the sidewalks and how we're going to articulate this here, but the stone wall and the protection that's going to provide is something we're considering here on Route 9A. I'll go through the other renderings. This is now, this is we're considering this is the front of the building. You're actually coming into St. Andrews Road. It's another new entrance, and that's the right-hand turn you're going to take, and this is really now the front. When we push the building closer to Route 9A, it's difficult to say that's your front. It's really, you could say it's in the back, but the reality of this is because we've created this new road, it is the front of the retail space. And you can kind of see that the scale of that back building is considerably better than it was. And then this one is my favorite, actually. This one really shows the difference between what we have there today, and I apologize to the original architect of Coco's. I don't know who that was. But from here, from the new intersection, it's remarkable. You don't see the back part of the building at all. So it's really a great way to kind of shield that and not call attention to the extended part of the building in the back. And to kind of expound on that a bit, I know there was concerns about our area back here. I noticed our fire department, Ray is here, I saw him. Hey, Ray. One of the things we need to do here is extend the parking and the paved area here for access. What that does, you guys will notice this line right here is the line of the woods right now. So that's the back of the parking lot. So this whole configuration doesn't even happen until you're already in the woods back there. So I know the concern was from Route 9, we're going to see this garbage dump. First of all, you wouldn't see it. It's just too far back. But we're as concerned as you about what that actually looks like. So we're going to be installing a chain link fence with privacy screen. In front of this, we will be able to plant in front of this, and we're planting shrubs and such in the front of it. Because we're extending this for the fire truck access, we have more opportunities here to plant trees beyond that. So we're going to do that. And you'll notice that this actually, takes almost a third of the building away, essentially. You're kind of getting it naturally screened with this new fencing and the landscaping we plan to do here.
Mr. Gotti, are the trees where the road connection would be that you're planting?
Well, the future road connection potential? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So let's see, what else?
But then we moved, and the future road connection, Michael, we moved the compactors and stuff. Those
yeah. No, I mean the new plan, there would be a revision to this area for sure. Yeah. Okay. It's a relatively easy revision. Everything is surface mounted and just paved. To move forward, this hasn't changed. I think one of the things I just wanted to point out here, we put this over, on the side here because there's a concern about, seeing this and screening this as well. We have accommodated in the design, larger areas where we can berm and we can landscape. again, your concerns are our concerns. They were our concerns first. We don't want people to see a parking lot when they drive in here. This is really meant to feel like it's behind the berm, behind the landscaping. So our goal is that when our, the development visitors are coming down here, they go through this gatehouse and they don't see anything beyond there. It's a relatively flat part of the site. It actually falls off a little bit as you get to the Roosevelt there on the top. And then you guys can take a look. The elevations have been updated. You see the planting and such that we've done there. We showed you the materials, simple materials, but in keeping with the architecture in the rest of the development. And then the teaching kitchen elevations. I also wanted to point out that we've added some information on the fencing that we're doing. You guys had some concerns of our emergency entrance off of Route 9. We had discussed last time, I forgot who brought it up, but it was a good point, that the black chain link fence actually, as it goes back into wooded areas, it kind of disappears. That's the goal here, obviously. But we can't help but notice and be able to see portions of the gate from Route 9. So what we're proposing is a aluminum picket, which we think is an elegant solution to that. So for the areas about 20 feet in each direction on either side of the gate that will be on the emergency entrance, we're going to do the gate like you see here in this photograph, and then an extended piece of the picket before you go back to the chain link fence as it kind of moves back into the off of Route 9. And in the summer you'll never see it. In the winter it'll be seen a little bit.
Michael, can you blow that up a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Which one? Either, both? This one? See that? And then lastly, the last one I have here, and we can come back to it. I know there was a concern about how we're going to fence around the pickleball and paddleball courts. We showed this as our zoom-in view. It's hard to do right now. It's hard to kind of make that work without building an entire model. But we brought this in. We said that the intent is going to have the fencing blend, just like the other fencing I described. We're considering, and we'll take your advice or your recommendation on this. If we wanted to do the privacy fencing on the Route 9A side, we can certainly do that. That's not a difficult thing. In fact, they can hang that right on the fencing. But you can kind of see that's a normal thing. Sometimes they use it as a windscreen, and there's a way to do that. So we're really just kind of keeping with what a normal pickleball court would use.
When you say privacy fence, can you explain what that is?
Privacy is
like
with
the
a
slats?
Yeah, well, it's the chain link fence, but then you have the inserts. You can put the inserts through the chain link fence.
The vinyl slats?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, and there was a picture of that was the picture on the other
It's around
Like
the garbage, right?
Same,
Yes.
the same
Around
as
the
around
garbage.
the
It's around the
dumpster?
garbage,
Okay.
yeah.
Actually, with the pickleball though, they have screens, fabric screens
It's like
that they
a
can.
fabric windscreen.
A windscreen. Yeah, that we would do. That's more of the sport version of that. The other thing I wanted to mention, the lighting plans have been updated. We spoke to our lighting designer. They have, technology is a wonderful thing until it's not. There are hot spots that show up in the photometrics. They've updated those. I went back and forth with them often. And you'll also see that they went ahead with the lighting for these courts. And you'll notice they're directional lights that provide the foot candles we need for the gaming. But you'll notice that there's no light, very little light leak outside of those lines. They're very, very directional lights. There's no glare. They're at a height that's manageable for the game. But obviously, we're concerned about the cars on Route 9 and anything like that. So it's all been designed to keep the driver safe and not be an eyesore in any way. And we have the night sky challenges here too. So taking all that into account. Was there anything else?
I just want to add one thing to what Michael said regarding the emergency access gate. I know he had shown you a sample of what's being contemplated, but for the benefit of the fire department, this gate will be equipped with a siren receiver as requested at the last review, so that it will open up when the fire truck is within a certain distance honking its horn. So we still intend to proceed with the operation of this gate in such a manner.
Did I miss anything? Was that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Thanks.
So, Chris, take quickly through just a couple of slides on, I know there was some issues or questions on the parking lot, on the valet parking lot.
Microphone, please.
Excuse me?
Microphone, please.
Yes, I'm sorry.
That's right.
Sorry about that. I know there was some issues or questions on the valet parking lot, and the charging stations, and so Chris will address that. And then a couple of the comments of the DOT, to speak to that, and then the road connection design that we're proposing. So, Chris?
Thank you, Michael. So, with regards to the valet parking, I know Michael touched upon this earlier. There was concerns about the screening of the valet parking, and also the screening of the retail parking as you're coming in from the intersection of St. Andrews. In addition, in the valet parking area, you had asked us to identify where we would have our EV chargers for those cars. So in the cyan colored areas within to the east of the valet parking and to the south of the retail parking, those areas are going to be bermed in elevation, about 4 feet in height, and incorporated into our submission that we gave you today. We always had a heavy landscaping presence on the southern side of the valet parking, but to address the comments you made last month as it relates to the retail, we incorporated that 4-foot-high berm in that entire area, along with approximately 30 trees. There's a mixture of 19 eastern red cedars, 3 tulip trees, 3 river birch trees, and 4 sweet gums. And I've got the landscaping plan with me just to kind of reinforce what I was just speaking of. Joe, if you can kind of highlight that area. Yeah, well, actually just put your mouse on it. This is the area that we've heavily landscaped per the request that you asked us last month. With regards to the EV chargers, the EV chargers are located on the northern section of the valet parking lot. They're concentrated in the central northern area, as to some of the guidance that we were given from the board during, or not board, but the consultants during our meeting on the phasing plans. We also have identified, in terms of the EV charging for the golf carts, they're going to be located within the ceiling of that enclosure. So they're going to be pull-down chargers for each of the individual golf carts that are being parked there. So it's not something that's going to be visible in terms of a structure on the ground within the enclosure. So we think from a screening standpoint, it's something you're not going to see. Obviously, it's behind the building, and it'll be enclosed on 3 sides. With regards to the pavement, I know we talked last month about introducing a cool pavement here in terms of the heat island effect. So we've done some research, and we found a supplier that can incorporate a color additive into the asphalt hot mix. They also offer a sealer. The concern our office had with a sealer is a sealer easily wears away, and then you lose the effects of the investment that you've made. When you incorporate the additive into the actual hot mix itself, you're getting a better blend and composite of the cooling effect. And so we've selected, and it's in our plans that we've given to you, what's called a ballast color. It's almost like a light gray, and it's highly reflective of solar energy, and this is going to absolutely remain cooler than your conventional pavement. We think we've done enough due diligence on that we feel comfortable with the product that we've provided to you. There are some other color options that we've provided on our detail plans. The board can consider and see if you have other thoughts that may be you believe more suitable, and we can have a discussion on those. But we've included those options on our plans for your consideration, but as I said, we're looking for a ballast color. So I think I've covered everything as it relates to the valet parking, and...
Can I just touch on one thing?
Charging?
Yeah, just on one, we are also committing, as we said in the cover letter, to do the analysis on the solar canopies. So we intend to go through the necessary studies and see if it's feasible, and as we outlined on our letter. So we're going to do that too. That's just going to probably be over about a year period, but you know, no problem putting that into any condition of approval or alike.
Can I just make a quick note?
As long as you have a microphone.
I love the microphone. Embarrassingly, I'm looking at the elevations that I printed for you guys. Did they double up on yours too? Yeah. All right. That's embarrassing. Sorry about that.
No, not on mine. No, mine was good.
I'll let somebody know that they're in trouble tomorrow.
On the page 4.
Renderings are really the ones I wanted you to see anyway.
2.13.
This guy's like the architectural version of Ryan Seacrest. He doesn't want to let the microphone go. So with regards to the sidewalk along the frontage of the Coco's building, you can see where we've already constructed the pedestrian crossing and signalization. That portion of the sidewalk is adjacent to the existing curbing out there. And in keeping with the characteristics of the Route 9 corridor, we've slightly angled the sidewalk on about a 22-degree angle, and we've brought the sidewalk closer to the western portion of the right-of-way, and we're screening that with a low-rise stone wall, similar to what you see along the Route 9 corridor. We're trying to maintain about a 5-foot separation between the wall and the curbing. It'll be a grass area, but it'll also be used in terms of snow storage that may accumulate in that area. We think that's consistent with what the vision is of the corridor, and we've also incorporated, based upon the updated traffic study that DOT spoke to, we've increased the length of the turn lane to 195 feet. That's merely an exercise in removing existing striping and restriping the area, and we just wanted to work through that and show you that those changes have been made on our plan set. So the next ticket item that Michael spoke to was just kind of walking through the alternative connection to the adjoining property. If you want to zoom in on the lower one. So we had an informal meeting with a few members of the town board to discuss this, and now we're making the presentation to the entire board. We took into consideration the concerns and comments that were raised by the board, as well as the program needs of our development, and we've tried to develop a plan which we believe is viable in terms of a potential future access connection. This plan would result in a connection to the most southernmost aisle on the adjoining property. It would allow for us to, and this goes back to, I think it was a question that was raised earlier, the compactor and refuse enclosures and the cart storage are all able to be relocated, as we have shown on this drawing here.
Can you move the mouse when
Sure.
you're talking about these areas, please?
Sure. So the cart storage right now is in this area here. We would relocate it in this area here. We would relocate some of the parking that we identified here, and this would go to the southern end. It's not. This parking would go here, where we would triple stack within the valet parking area. So from a parking standpoint, we would still maintain the same number of parking spaces. We would reconfigure how the refuse enclosures and locations are located on this portion of the property. We would have pull-ins in this area for the 2 refuse areas, and then the compactor would be relocated to the western portion of this property. We've slightly modified a little bit of the pavement here where it doesn't encroach within the stream corridor setback. This would allow for the tractor trailers that are going to be unloading to the rear of the building. It's, you know, there will be some striping that'll be necessary to clearly delineate this path. We haven't gotten into the detailed engineering of this. This is more, we're giving you the concept that it's viable. And that would need to be delineated here so that there's an accurate travel path. This travel path's been developed so that it can accommodate a fire truck and a tractor trailer as well, coming into the adjoining property. We do believe there will be encroachment within the stream corridor. We do have some topographic challenges here as we have to accommodate a radius to accommodate the tractor trailers and the fire trucks. Obviously, that's subject to future review and planning board consideration, but it's viable. We think this could be done in a manner where it also won't encroach upon a DEC's 50-foot buffer as well in there for the stream. At this stage, I'm willing to hear any thoughts or comments you may have on this particular connection. I think it was made in good faith and accommodates what was asked for.
Why don't we be a little more controlled and get all of your comments, and then we're going to go around, if that would be okay.
No, I think we addressed most of the new issues that were raised. As I said before, a lot of the issues that we had responded to were worked into conforming the numbers and some explanations and clarifications. One of the things on this road, while we took it upon ourselves, I think as we felt requested by this board and the county in their comments about exploring the feasibility, we think we have a feasible program here. It probably has many of the same issues that were being discussed in 2011. I went back and looked at some history of that. There would still need to be arrangements between ourselves and the other property owners. There would still be maintenance liability. There would be signage issues. There would possibly be some land acquisition. But those were the same issues that were being debated and discussed in 2011, which hopefully we would be able to work out. As I think I said in the cover letter and we discussed last time, one of the more likely scenarios or possible scenarios that would also accommodate this is if the resort was to purchase the neighboring parcel, which is a possibility in the future. But this, I think, captures the intent of the comprehensive plan, you know, to promote tourism and preserve the ethos, as Michael likes to call, of the resort, and at the same time, he's got great words. I could never come up with a word like that. And at the same time, you know, accommodate a real connection and take that traffic off of Route 9, close that curb cut, and accommodate it. So I think at this point in time, any questions on any of the issues, we welcome, and thank you for your...
Thank you.
Do you want to address the DOT comment about the sidewalk in front of the neighboring property there?
Yeah, I was going to say that's the only thing
Not
missing.
really.
I was going to say that's the one thing that you did not. Thank you for.
We thought, quite frankly, it was an overreach. it sort of had some of the same characteristics. I mean, they brought it up at the meeting with them originally, the first time we met with them, and they sort of backed off of it. It surprised us when we saw it in their comments. I mean, we met with the regional administrators. You saw they provided you a comment about no further improvements. So it sort of surprised us a little. It's not, it's not typical that you have to do a sidewalk on someone else's property. Again, there would be all types of maintenance.
Well, it wouldn't be on somebody else's property.
Well,
It'd be
right
DOT
away,
right away.
but
It's not typical that you're doing a sidewalk along the frontage of somebody else's
Well,
property.
let me just,
Okay.
I'm sorry, I guess I am going to interrupt, but Jason Brenner had sent, the town an email saying, hey, we were talking about this sidewalk. How do you guys feel about, having the sidewalk? And we told him yes, we'd like the sidewalk.
Of course.
So.
And we would encourage the owners of those sites to build sidewalks in front of their.
Well, if they want to require it as part of your permit, I don't know whether whether it's fair or not. That's not up to us.
I don't think they're required. We met with the regional administrators and everyone. They have not indicated that they're requiring it as part of our permit.
Why did they ask us then?
They asked, how do you feel about?
How do you feel about it? But we're not going to do anything about it. But how do you feel about it?
I think what's
sense.
getting overlooked here is it's not as simple as the construction of a 5-foot wide sidewalk along the right-of-way. And once again, in all due respect, I've been doing this for a considerable amount of time. The DOT does not make an individual responsible for the construction of a sidewalk along the frontage of another individual's property. I've done this along Route 44 a number of times where you have these endless sidewalks along people's frontage of property. They don't ask you to continue building a sidewalk along the neighbor's property until you make a connection. The other thing that's getting lost in this is nobody's looked at the details of what's actually required for this construction. So let's go through this. There are 2 utility poles within the existing right-of-way that would have to be relocated as part of this endeavor. The other thing that's being missed is this existing area is curbless. There is a swale alongside the roadway. So where does this drainage have to go? You'll need to construct new curbing, and along with the new curbing, now you have a drainage situation that's going to require the introduction of catch basins and new piping to redirect the drainage. Well, what's in that place right now that may impact that? There's an existing gas main along that curb line where this would go. So when you start thinking, oh, it's only a little sidewalk, no, it's not. It's more than 500 feet of sidewalk. It's going to require some more detailed engineering than what you would expect. But also from the construction side, you now have to also relocate the drainage line that's in the middle of the sidewalks where there's a swale going through. So this is a bit of a complicated effort here. This is not a throw $10,000 at it and you could put in a sidewalk type endeavor. This is a major engineering feat, and this is not something that is, in our opinion, and we feel very strongly about this, the responsibility of the applicant as it doesn't front our property.
And this is very much, frankly, if many of you recall, sort of the conversation we had on the Saki application. It was, at one point, the department asked us, the Saki applicant, to put in the 4 signal lights at the intersection of St. Andrews, or they weren't going to allow us to extend the wall and the sidewalk onto their right-of-way at the corner. And Michael Dupree, representing the board, was very strong in his representation that this should not be the responsibility of the Saki, just because they were seeking approval to build this wall and this connection. It wasn't something that they had really caused or was related to their proposal. So
I wouldn't expect that same advocacy on this issue, though. The board would like to see the sidewalk.
Well,
So
like,
they are not going to be.
Victoria,
asking
we-
us to-
we're-
I'm just saying, at that point.
We're not
Has the board
arguing.
opined on that?
Is the board opined?
No, the board has not, I mean, I heard some, but I'm saying I don't expect this board to go to bat with DOT the same way they did on the Saki project.
Well, look, we're not surprised, your comment, that the board would like to see a sidewalk. The DOT would like to see a sidewalk. The question is, who should be responsible for building that sidewalk? And what is the typical practice? And you've been doing this long enough, and you know that typically improvements of this kind are not usually required of other landowners to build sidewalks adjoining other people's properties. We would certainly cooperate with another owner if they would like to build that, and work with them and coordinate it and alike, but it's not it's out of the ordinary. And when we met with them, they did not require it. So I just think it's an understandable ask of an agency that's probably would like to see as many of these types of things happen, improvements happen. Question is, who should be equitably and fairly responsible? We don't think it should be the project. I can't do any better.
Okay.
Mr. Zarin, I have a quick question. When you reference your meeting with DOT, when was that? Was that with the original NRI application? Or more recent?
No, this is when we went back to them for the amended site plan application. We met with them and presented it. The regional administrator was there.
The traffic impact study.
And we did an impact study, and we wanted to know in advance what improvements they might require.
Do you know roughly?
When?
Yeah.
It was
Summer? It was
July or August?
This year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, now I think you've covered.
It was after Lance retired, is when we went. No, I remember this. It was-
After what?
The former regional director retired after
Okay.
he
So it was
retired.
with
So
the new administrator, and
I think it was
met
like
much
2
of his
weeks right
staff.
after that, somewhere in that time frame.
Thank you.
So
And it was
thank-
raised.
Right, so thank you for going through that presentation. Again, a lot of information here to digest. What I'd like to do is go around and do our normal ask, and then, of course, find out if anyone in the audience wants to speak. So, Tad.
So we've talked a lot about the surface and the color of the parking lot, the size of the parking lot. There are other standards in that same section that will also need to be addressed by the board. I don't know that the ask for the waiver from that section, or those sections, 108, 4.5B2, have all been addressed in your request for such a waiver, and I would think that would be a good thing to provide to the board. In addition, the front of the building, although you have designed it to be fronting on the connection, is actually on Route 9, according to the code, which is a good thing because that means that your parking isn't in front of the building. So they won't need anything from that. But I believe the code requires access to what we consider to be the front of the building by
Does say that, yep.
pedestrians. And I know we talked about that once, but I don't know if that's
Can you go to the
in
site plan?
writing as a request to waive that
Do you want to show that on the
access.
site plan? Yeah. Go to the site plan.
I do consider the golf car parking spaces as addressed on our 108 4.5B2, and they would be undersized and not the appropriate size for a roadworthy vehicle, so you might mention that. There have been a couple of iterations or descriptions of shared parking, and I'm not clear as to whether or not all of the shared parking is put together in one place. So how much you need, how you're handling it, where they're parking off-site. There were 80 spaces or something that were going to be somewhere else if it was needed.
We did upgrade and the table, the parking
Okay.
table, and included it in the submission.
Okay.
And to explain and clarify some of those issues.
Okay.
Yeah, I think what we did was, and this was on our note sheet, and I don't know if everybody had the opportunity to see that. And, it's been on our note. It's been on our note sheets.
Oh.
It's been on from the original approval on how the parking is distributed throughout the site. There is a table on it. I think it's G002, and what we did was we this is the table, Joe. If you can highlight that with the mouse. We also brought this table into our technical memorandum, so you could read it as well. It shows, and what we have here is we have a table of the required parking for the overall project that breaks down hotels, villas, the restaurants, the spa, the teaching kitchens. We go into the hilltop amenity. We go into the retail establishment as well. We apply the same 30% reduction factor for the overlap between resort guests and restaurants, similar to what you had approved in 2011. And we've come up with a total parking required of 508 spaces. There's a total of 528 spaces being provided, 20 more than what is required. The smaller table that we have here breaks down how they're distributed throughout the site. We have 9 spaces at the event barn. We have 22 spaces along the LH3s for parking. We have, along the X1 lots, we have another 23 spaces. The garage beneath the Hearth building, we have 19. The CIA overflow, we have 86. The Coco's retail portion, we have 55. Within the valet parking, we have 229. We have 73 spaces at the villa garages in their driveways. We have some that have garages, so we have a parking space internally, and we have one externally. We only, and we were conservative. Some of those areas where we can fit 2 or 3 cars in those driveways, we only use 1 car for the parking space. The teaching kitchens, we have 12 parking spaces for the public use of the teaching kitchens. So we've also gone a step further here, and we broke down the green and the red that we show here are those areas that will be for the public use. That is, public use is going to be the teaching kitchen. Public use is going to be the retail establishment. If you're obviously coming into a restaurant or to the spa or to the hotel, that's part of the valet parking. So that's the green area, I'm sorry, the kind of the lightish, or orange-red, I don't know the technical term for that.
Salmon.
Peach, let's call it peach. Salmon. Those are areas that'll be valet parked. And similarly speaking, the CIA campus will be valet parked as well. So there will be some degree of, on-site, we'll have valet parking at each of those locations where somebody will come and get your car for you. So we've had this in our plans. Maybe we didn't, during this meeting, actually break it down for everybody into this level of detail, but we do have this color-coded plan, and we're hoping this addresses the questions that have come up as to how the parking's allocated on the site.
Thank you.
And Pat, as far as some of those design standards waivers, I know we addressed a number of them in our November 10th submission, but I'll go back and look and make sure we've covered all of them, or at least the ones that you
D, E,
think.
F, G, and J.
Say that again?
D, subsection D, E, F, J, G, and J.
D, E, F.
F, G, and J.
J, okay. Okay, thank you.
Other comments, Tad?
No, that's all, thank you.
Ms. Franson?
So, thank you for the presentation, just absorbing it. I think what I think about in the presentation is, again, how to get the valet parking in a place where you reduce the, the urban heat effect. And I think the narrative in the response talked a lot about solar canopy, but you can put just canopy. It doesn't have to be solar necessary, doesn't have to be year-round, but there are canvas structures, there are other types of structures you could put up that would also help without having to go through the whole cost of a major solar canopy. So I think my point is to sort of be creative about what could remedy some of that. The other is even just putting canopy trees around the periphery. I see that you have put in the landscaping. I don't know if that landscaping, because I haven't looked at it, but to what extent it's canopy landscaping. And I would ask, what are you doing at the back end of the parking lot? Because I know you're going to grade to put in the parking lot, but I didn't see any trees on that westerly side.
So the westerly side there abuts the stream corridor area, and that's already a wooded area, so our proposal was not to disturb the existing vegetation in that area.
Yeah, I didn't know measure off. I don't know if that's like a 2 foot or, just looking at this right now, if it's 2 feet, 5 feet, 10 feet, but if there's an opportunity to put some additional potential canopy trees in there, I would investigate that. So that's sort of what I took away. Otherwise, just have to go through the submission. Thank you.
I think what we can do in terms of the canopy trees that you're asking for on the periphery along the eastern side of the valet parking, our thought process was, the desire was for screening there. And it's heavily coniferous in the selection that is on the landscaping plan. But what we can do is maybe that first row that abuts the parking, we can modify that into some level of a canopy type tree.
And again, I think that there are other techniques, so, just to be creative and take a look whether any of them could be applied.
We thought the one technique that we're also offering was creative in the sense of trying to change the color of the pavement to lower that heat-on effect as well.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Ms. Franson?
No, thank you.
Mr. Sotero?
A couple things. We got the submission. We'll obviously, look at it. But I did want to mention there's been talk about the interconnection and the possibility of tying the two sites, together, and the applicants presented a plan where they say that they could be able to do it, in the future. So I just wanted to say that, I've been doing this a long time, myself, and have worked as a developer's engineer on projects and on the town's end on reviewing projects, and I've had several of these cases, and in fact I just had a meeting on Monday on one of my development projects where the same potential issue may be coming up. And so my point is that I don't know why we wouldn't approve a site plan now that would set up for, a potential connection later. I don't know why you would have, an alternate plan and then they'd come back for a site plan approval and then move all this stuff around. And again, this is just something, and I'll bring it up in a letter, but why we wouldn't just, the way to do it is to just do it, and approve a site plan so that it's set up, so that it can be very easily made, in the future. So, and I know that's going to spark a lot of discussion. I don't think we need to have all that discussion now, but I just wanted to bring that up. Because I don't know why we wouldn't approve something now that would set it up for the future. That's just my opinion.
Pete, your opinion, again, you speak from a lot of experience, and we value your opinion. Is there anything else that you wanted to comment?
No, not at this time, no.
Ms. Polidoro?
So not having looked at the new materials that we received today, I agree with Pete. I don't see why you would approve a site plan that puts trees and garbages and golf cart structures in an area where you want a future connection instead of just having them relocate those now and build the connection to the point that one day it can be connected to. So it's done, because there's a cost to doing all that later, and you have to ask someone to come in and get approval. It has to be engineered in the future. So if this is the direction the board is going, I don't understand the alternate plan. It should just be the plan at this point. Again, we're not saying they have to have the agreement and connect with the neighbor. They can stop at the property line. We can work those details out.
And they may even buy it. I mean, if they buy it, then it's set up.
Right. It just, planting trees where the road is going to go, to me, is at odds with what the board has asked them to do. I also just, again, the frontage and the waivers for the parking lot, that all has to be considered as part of the board's seeker findings. So you want to make sure that you have enough information in front of you to determine whether you can, again, issue a neg deck. And you should also look at whether you have enough information on the sport court. It's the first time I heard about a privacy fence from Route 9, so you may need some more visuals as well as to what that's going to look like when you're driving by it.
Thank you.
That's it.
Okay. Mr. Tuttle.
Thanks, guys. Let's see, range of small comments here. Normally, I don't love the idea of vinyl privacy slats. Bringing up the lighting, I think this may be a case. It's not the direct glare from the light, but just that's a different visual at night. When those lights are on, I can see that being a case for having some sort of opaque, something that's not see-through on that side. If it could be something other than vinyl, even better, but just something to consider there. Even if you're talking like a low stone or brick wall along that side that sort of removes the direct view of the, I'd have to, it might have to be quite a tall wall and actually make any difference, but just putting something out there as something to think about for that. I like the stone wall along the front of the building. I assume it's set back far enough that DOT will be okay with it. There's one pretty close on the other side of the road by Saki, so I assume I'm okay with that. But Tad mentioned the entrance on the front. Is there now an entrance to that new gable on the north side? I saw a sidewalk going back, like the sidewalk comes to an end along Route 9, and then it goes up into the site along that northern edge.
Yeah, I mean, right now, we don't know who the tenant is going to be. If it might end up being a single tenant for the entire space, and there's security issues on the retail side for that. We talked the other day with these guys, and I mean, the consideration of that could come up. Right now, there's going to be parking from the adjacent group right up against our building. I mean, their parking is right there, so it's not the most comfortable entry for anything. It's really, for us, it was more of a show window type thing and show people what's in there.
I am sensitive to the idea that for nearly everybody who goes into this, the front is in the rear. We run into this a lot. When you do parking in the rear on a structure and you bring the building up next to the road, you have two faces to that building. I think it's important to have an entrance on the front of the building. It needs to look like a front. Even if very few people, until that neighboring thing gets developed, until we have a sidewalk connection and people may actually walk to it, I think it's important to have it look like the front of the building.
All right,
so
let's look into it.
On the sidewalk connection, I understand why DOT brought it up. When I thought about it, first thing I thought is, that is a really difficult, that's not a straightforward sidewalk to build
100%.
whatsoever.
And Chris is right. I mean, everything he said about drainage and all that stuff is, 100% correct.
Yep. I would love to see it done, but my inclination is that it's too big it's too much for this right now. That's my inclination. All right, landscaping. On the landscape plan, which you showed up there and which I've got up here as L302, there is no landscaping shown in front of Coco's or along the northern edge of the site. I spoke before at our last meeting about just that 5-foot, very minimal setback there, and how, so some of these renderings and the elevations even, the elevations show shadowed trees in front of nearly the whole length of that building. So I don't know if this, part of me wondered whether it was actually an error, because there is some stuff shown on the renderings in front of Coco's, right? You'd think you're going to do some low-lying, landscaping in
I'd
front
say,
of
you're correct. It was a technical oversight.
Yep, okay.
The intent, we had this discussion with the team, is to have low-level landscaping along that entire northern section of the
Yep.
building, and it failed to show up on this plan.
Okay.
But it is been fully discussed and vetted out. And I think we do owe you along the eastern portion of the building how we are going to propose the landscaping.
Yep.
In all honesty, we've spent so much time trying to figure out how we're going to orient this sidewalk along the frontage and incorporate a stone wall that we kind of lost sight of the landscaping request along the frontage, so we owe that to you.
Yep. As for the buildings, I think this really works. I like that rear building. I was skeptical last time and happy with it. It really seems like, maybe it's just an illusion of the renderings, but it seems like a dramatic difference on the height. You went from 40 to what? What is it?
It is, the ridge line is about 32 or so, but,
Okay.
you know, when the gable comes down,
Yep.
we were able to kind of study the interior, and we get the height we need inside the building that we didn't think we had before, so.
Great.
Yeah, it worked
Good.
out, it worked out.
Okay. So let's see, is there anything else? I think the only other thing is about the connection. Thank you for meeting with a couple of us to talk about this. I'm going to say sort of two contradictory things here. Just to go back to the landscaping for a second, you talked about the woods hiding the dumpsters and such. It would be helpful to at least, if the idea is that you think you're going to be able to leave enough of the woods intact between the existing parking lot for the neighboring property and what you're building, then it would be helpful, I think, to show that in some way on the plans, depict it. Here is where an existing tree line is that is going to serve as a buffer. Here's where it ends. Because right now, when we look at this landscaping plan and everything, we don't, you know, it looks bare, right? And our assumption tends to be you're probably going to remove everything. It's within 20 feet of your building, right, or whatever you're doing.
So you kind of want us to go out there and identify that landscaping, and then on top of that, then show how the new fencing is going to intertwine with that landscape, so that you can see the entire screening that's taking place on that side of the building.
Right, just for that little corner up there, right, where that's what we're talking
Pick out all the you go out there, survey all the landscaping that's existing, and then.
Yeah, I don't know that I was asking for a detailed tree survey. I think I'm asking for an outline of the tree line, right?
All right.
Or if you were going to be removing something and planting something, okay. But it would just be helpful to depict whatever that buffer is going to be.
More just kind of delineate the limits of disturbance along that area. I think.
Yeah, that could be helpful. Yep. With that said, so that assumes that this is the way things are staying for now, right? I am really sensitive to what both Pete and Victoria said, and it was my first thought after our call the other week, is that you've shown us a way that it could be done to facilitate that connection. Why are we doing it a different way to begin with? Why not just build it the way that you said with the golf cart parking in a slightly different place and the gate in a different spot, so that it is configured the way that it would be were that connection to be made. You may well have your reasons, but that's my first thought, is that it feels overly complicated to set yourself up, if you do purchase that neighboring property or whatever, to have to completely reorganize everything when you've shown that it could work in a different way that would make that process a lot simpler.
I think I hear that point, and I think it's also been shared with the board that an alternative connection of that nature would be a shared cost, correct? I mean, there's a cost for us to build what we were contemplating, and then there's the additional cost to make a shared connection.
Again, they're not asking for you to
That's
actually
an agreement.
connect.
That's a separate,
Yeah.
a separate like agreement later on, and I would expect that the agreement would ask the adjoining property owner for a certain percentage of cost of the traffic light, of the road going out there, insurance, so there's all kinds of agreements.
Microphone,
Again, we could get
Yeah,
into, into another hour, of this, and I don't
But I
think we
think
need
it's
to
just
do
worth, just to, if I understand correctly, we would have to reach a negotiation with that landowner on those issues as opposed to, just Victoria, as opposed to if we were to build it now, and we had no idea whether that landowner agreed to plug into that, agreed with our design, agreed with our signage, agreed with our distancing, agreed with, I went back in those 2011.
You'd have to build it twice.
That's their problem.
You can put a curb between your lot and their lot.
That's
No.
their call.
No, you're saying stub it out, essentially.
Don't put trees and buildings there, is what we're saying.
Until we, go ahead.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
You asked us, I know you don't want to belabor this issue, but I do want to just bring up one point. When we were asked to lay this out, we were asked to lay out a viable alternative. The alternative we laid out, you look at what needs to be relocated in that sense in terms of the structures. You're talking about refuse enclosures being relocated. You're talking about the enclosure for the golf carts. That's all removable. But now you're talking about actually building infrastructure. You're talking about building roadways that's not necessarily needed for the current development. You're asking to build retaining walls that aren't needed for the current
And it's
development.
called planning. It's called planning.
Correct. We are doing. We're planning ahead. We're just not. We're not building ahead right now. We're not building ahead for a connection that's
Yeah,
not.
they're building it.
Maybe we can have a separate,
say,
because we could go on for another
I
like
don't want to
hour
get into
on
a
this.
ping pong tournament or a
Yeah.
pickleball
And we're
tournament
not
here.
gonna go get it.
I would really ask you at this point, just hear what everybody's saying. You don't need to, you do not need to debate every single point that comes up. And same thing for us. We're just trying to, again, give you our impressions. We don't need to be pushed back every time. We don't need to be told why we're wrong or why, just, please, just try to listen. That's all I ask.
Thank you.
Mr. Tuttle?
We'll leave it there. Thank you.
No other comments? Thank you. And Mr. Waters?
Okay, well, first, when you open up a conversation, like, don't belabor it, and then you don't give people the opportunity to opine on their position, that's not good. So I might not table it right now, because I have to tell you that, they met the requirements of showing how it could be done. They don't need to implement it because it's not being technically done. We don't know if the person that is to the north in that plaza is willing to sell. We're not sure if they want to pay some of the costs to connect, which I believe in that 2011 document that I had seen, at the bottom of the document somewhere, it stated that the costs would be connecting a road or something like that would be a shared cost, and they would have to come up with some kind of a payment to the other property owners to share that access. Okay, so that was
That's right.
that was it. Am I correct on that? Yes.
And the town was talking about a public dedication would be required.
Yeah.
Microphone, please.
Yeah. So that's all, with that thing. But now I want to get on to the important part of the whole thing, is the renderings make the project come to life. I don't know if anybody else sees that. I see it. I see the theme being carried from all the way in the back, what's happening down by the river, all the way forward to Route 9. The same quality, seems like it's the same quality. It seems like the same attention to detail. It's thought out, it's well thought out, it's well laid out. I like that they moved certain structures. I think that was a big plus. I also, there are a couple things, I went through the drawings already, but I have to really digest it, and I will get back and raise those issues. But like the pro shop, I'd like to see what that is. But, I don't know if anybody else has looked at the elevations, but I did, and I saw that drawing might be missing. So what is that? I also thought that there might be a unique way to do a privacy screening around
those tennis courts and stuff that would actually help dampen the sound of those courts, but yet also be almost like an architectural element, whether they're open, it's an open wall, but it's staggered, it has a little bit of movement to it, whether one is in front of the other, so airflow can get in, but yet create some kind of a screening. And I thought that maybe that same element that you use there can also be used on the dumpster area, so that you're carrying a theme through. Rather than the chain link with the slots and stuff, we always find that, I think it's been suggested that those slots always slide out or things happen to them
The
over
cheap
time.
ones.
Yeah.
The cheap, we're not going to
The
do.
cheap, okay,
No,
well-
we're going to do the other one.
Okay, you're going to make them, I think. But,
They're slats.
yeah, so that I think would go a long way too, because I think because the project is so unique and has all these elements, but I don't know which building I like better, because they all share different levels of interest, and then but they all share a similarity at the same time. So that I think is it's well done. I mean, let's see, that building of the greenhouse, yeah, the teaching kitchen is, man,
Yeah.
that is something else, not unlike anything here, and much like the site across the street, they have jewels that they incorporated in their structure, which was beautiful, that they've done. This is now a jewel for this one. So I think this is all, that whole area down there, the entry into Hyde Park is just becoming, it's like the place you want to be. And I applaud all the architects from both projects, because they really, these are outstanding projects. They really are. And for right now, that's all I have to say. But the sidewalk going north. Here's what I have with an issue with that. If you do that, it enhances the property value of that parcel, so that if you do go to buy it, you're going to be paying more for something you've already done. I don't know. That's my thought on it. That's just a perspective that I'm just looking at it. You're enhancing something for somebody else that you're going to have to now go to and purchase, and they're going to say, well, we have these beautiful sidewalks in front of our building. And you know that building's going to be torn. We don't know what that building could be. So, well.
I'm just listening.
Yeah, well, why, what is wrong with
Well,
what I'm saying?
because you're planning for Hyde Park, not for the individual.
I understand that, but making them move gas lines, telephone poles,
Yeah,
and all of that.
I understand.
So,
But, if DOT requires it, then DOT's gonna require it.
no, then that's that. But I'm saying, making them do that that's my
We're not
thoughts
going
on
to go make them do that because.
No,
It would be, yeah. it would
DOT
be-
would be the one that would
DOT
have.
did ask for our perspective, right? So
I mean,
Yeah.
the time to really do it is if the Van Valkenburg Plaza comes in where they could dedicate some land and put a sidewalk in.
But when that would be their cost, right? Van
Understood,
Valkenburg.
yeah.
Sure, okay, that's what I'm saying. But the way it sounded to me was like you wanted them to extend it 500 feet or whatever.
So
I
it was the
don't want
DOT
it.
comment,
DOT.
Rob.
Well,
It was the DOT.
okay, well then I don't agree with the DOT.
That's fine.
That's my opinion on
Other
that.
comments?
So.
Anything else?
Well, no, I think I've hit things. I'm going to go through the drawings and look at it in greater detail. But thank you. Thank you for addressing all the other issues I sent, because I sent you pages of things. And
Yes, I remember.
and you addressed them all. I made sure that those were done. So, yes, I thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you, Rob.
Yep.
Ms. Wasser?
I want to thank you for just generally listening. I don't know if there's agreement, but I certainly know that you listened to everything that was discussed and asked of you, and I appreciate it. And I love this building, this retail building. It's really special. I echo Rob's comments on all of the design, and I also agree with Dylan's comment on the sidewalk. I don't know who's making this final call, but if it's our board, it wouldn't be me. So, and I think we'll leave it right there.
Thank you, Steph.
Thank you. Mr. Oliver.
I'll try to keep it short and sweet, but, so I really appreciate the deeper look that you did in the back of the house building. I think that really helped us understand, you know, some of the things that's, the program that you have going on there, and helps for me understand the parking and, you know, intended future use, and I appreciate that. I really appreciate the architecture on the buildings. I think it's going to be an awesome gateway to the town of Hyde Park, like you had mentioned. I think it's great. I also really appreciate the 5-foot buffer for the sidewalk and the stone wall. I think that's very Hyde Park, and the extra snow storage area, and will also give you some protection from the state plows along Route 9. From a maintenance standpoint, it's a major issue when those state plows come by, so I think that's really going to be helpful. Regarding the screening along the sport court, possible idea, listening to some of Rob's thoughts and kind of brainstorming myself as we talk about it, a possible like a privet hedge, where that would also give you some sound attenuation, along with restricting the light trespass and adding a landscape element to it. Now for my, you know, deeper comments regarding the access, the interconnection road, I agree with our consultants deeply. To me, also listening to Chris's comments regarding the utilities for that sidewalk possible connection that DOT is suggesting, looking at it from, you know, just an engineering and planning standpoint, you're going to be relocating your EV charging utilities, your utilities for your charging of your golf carts, your compactor utility, all the costs, like I hear what you're saying, that the extra costs that will be assumed to construct a sidewalk going north onto the neighboring property, I understand that. I respect your concern. But then it's contradictory to your statement of, we're going to design something knowing that we're going to have to dig up all of our utilities and relocate them for future. It just seems contradictory. You're building something with the intent to rebuild it in the future, and we don't know that future date. So again, I agree with our engineer and our legal counsel regarding why would it make sense to build something right now, that just do one plan and build that plan with the possibility for the connection. Regarding the DOT comments on that sidewalk, I am fully in favor of it. I understand the, you know, burden that it puts on you guys, and I respect that. Just a different perspective would be that when you were thinking of the Saki building, that intersection is different now. There's more components going on, and there's the possible reason that it's being brought up again to extend that. But again, I respect your position on it, but obviously as a planning board member for the town, my job is, at least the way I see my job, is to help plan for the future of our town and its residents. So that's where my comments are coming from. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Lee?
Okay, so first architecture, thank you very much. This is a much improved north elevation. We love how you put the gable also over there, and how there is that entry door for that one end tenant. It might be helpful to put that sidewalk from the front all the way to that door. And just speaking of sidewalks, these renderings are beautiful, and they do bring in what you guys are doing on your campus to Route 9. So we appreciate all of that. But when I look at these renderings, I'm thinking about people at home who look and watch and look at all of the things that we submit. It doesn't quite look, there's no pedestrian experience here. Meaning on rendering 3, I can see your rock wall that you're speaking of. I can't really see, in rendering 1, I can sort of see the sidewalk. But in rendering 3, as the sidewalk is supposed to go around to the back of the building, which is really the front of the building, I don't see that in rendering 3. And it would be really easy to do, just to make the walkability of people who are interested in this project understand that they'll walk around the building, and they'll have a sidewalk to do that. Right now, that just looks like a curb. And then just a few other things about that, Michael. You know I'm not going to tell you what to do. But, you know, if this is a real stick in the mud for this Route 9 entry into these retail spaces, we all know that we've seen fixed pane walls like this with doors in them. Is there a way that we can do something that will satisfy the zoning and still keep what you're trying to accomplish? So just think about that, because I don't want it to stick it to you at the end about that. I think that might be something that we're overlooking. It sounds big to me.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would agree with that. I forgot to bring up my comment regarding the front access. I do think it's essential.
I don't want to act like it's not a big deal.
No, and I can, with all the other stuff, I don't want to overlook it, because, again, that's been my whole point, is the access to the public and not kind of closing its door to them and not having an access along a public front walkway. I think that's because this is the front of the building.
So maybe, you know, your sidewalk going around to that access door on the north will help that, but, you know, maybe thinking about how maybe these fixed panes can be, there can be some kind of door that is also looks exactly like this. We've all seen that before. Not, again, telling you what to do, but I just don't want it at the end of this process to be the thing that bites you, because it's gorgeous. And then just a few general statements about the other housekeeping things. Personally, I think it's a huge overreach to ask you guys to do a sidewalk in front of someone else's property. I understand we're planning for Hyde Park, but I also know that we're working with you as partners. I think that's a lot. And then I actually think it would be really easy to move the compactor and the other things, the golf carts, that's pretty easy stuff in my book. I feel like you would have to put a gate there anyway if you removed all that stuff, because then people are going to drive through there anyways. You're going to have to remove that gate. So for me, that's an easy move if we ever decide. And I appreciate you really thinking about access in the future, and that's what we asked you to do, and you did that. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Garcia.
Okay. There's been a lot said.
Then pull the microphone up and speak.
I'm not going to regurgitate what everybody else has said, but I agree with Dylan's initial comment that there needs to be some sort of front entrance in the front of the building.
I hear you, I'm sorry.
I think that there should be a front entrance in the front of the building. That's just me. I'm assuming, if I understand the sidewalk controversy, I'm assuming there's a sidewalk across Route 9, right, in front of the building? And then you were talking about putting a sidewalk here?
I just
along
don't-
this one?
Well, there is one.
There is
It just
one.
doesn't show in the
It
rendering.
doesn't
I
show
think it's
it.
just a poor rendering.
Okay,
Yeah, the
that's
rendering just
fine.
doesn't show that.
Just
And
And
then
what
I'm
about
also
the-
talking about
There you go,
The north-
Michael, another poor rendering, huh?
Yeah, I'm also talking about this.
The north
Talk
side.
to your
Yeah,
person
yeah.
there.
There's
There's a door there.
to say.
There would be a sidewalk to there.
Yes, shown.
Okay.
Yeah.
See it on this drawing.
I'm fine with that. If in the future somebody does something with the building north of that, they'll be able to connect to that sidewalk, right? Okay. As a Hyde Parker, fourth generation here, also building, I would find it really hard to compel a builder to build a sidewalk in front of somebody else's building. I'd be very upset. But as a Hyde Parker, I would love to see that sidewalk. Okay? I mean, that's where I am, but DOT can do what they do, you know? That's all I'm gonna say on that. I think the building's beautiful. I feel my role is, this is gonna be a tremendous asset to Hyde Park. As far as this connecting to the back of, connecting the two buildings with this proposed, again, I would love to see you do it. And honestly, you did what we asked you to do. But to compel you, I don't see how we can, I wouldn't want to compel you to do something. But as a Hyde Parker, I want to connect the two properties, you know?
Come on, John, it's something else.
I know,
John, the question now is not that they actually make the connection, but do you want a site plan where they're not putting things in the way of the connection?
yeah, but I interpret it as them putting a road cut, showing it, putting a curb across it, and putting some infrastructure in there. So now they have to go back to the, basically the drawing board and redistribute what.
They did it already.
They showed that plan.
They showed it to us, it's just a
Yeah.
matter of whatever.
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know. I feel like compelling somebody to do something they don't want to do is, I don't know. There's a lot that goes into that, right? You were talking about getting agreements between the property owners.
That's
Not
later.
making the connection.
That's later.
What Pete and my comment was should the site plan now, where they show that they can add the parking spaces on the
Yeah, I
other
know.
side and relocate the dumpster, should they do that now so that it doesn't have to be done in the future?
Well,
And they
that's-
wouldn't have to come back and move it all and do it.
Right.
But what isn't it,
Careful.
Chair, isn't that our choice? If we,
That's their call.
if we decide to do it because who knows when this road is going to get built, and we're committing to, we will make these changes, we won't do anything that precludes that later on, and we'll put that in writing.
This is our discussion now,
Shouldn't
right
that
now.
be our choice?
Yeah, all right, thank you, Michael.
Well, that's, yeah.
Yeah, let's save it for
It's, you
another
keep
day.
it offline, I guess. I don't know. To me, it's, there's just so many variables there. I
And
don't
it's an
know.
important site. So-
Yeah, only other thing is, I would say, is the fencing seems to be light, in the sense that you have a beautiful building, beautiful project, and you're talking about chain link fence with slotted vinyl stuff. Okay?
Even if it's the good stuff. right?
Even if it's the good stuff. I would think you'd want to do something in line with the
Screening.
level of project that you have, that's all. With that being said, that's it.
Thank you so much. You've gotten a lot of comments. I have some comments also. I'm trying to think of the best one of your drawings, or maybe the one that you have right there. Can you zoom in on the back? Can you make that really big? If you show the whole back, no, just down the half side of the back of Health, just blow it up a little bit, if you could.
Oh, yeah.
So, let me ask you this. So, in between the trash compactor and, I guess, one of the garbage, what's yes, what is that?
It's a fire lane. The trucks have to come around the back to service that side of the building, so
Okay.
it accommodates that.
Oh, okay, so it's not actually, so a fire lane to me means that they should be able to access it from the other side.
No,
They have to, so if something happens, so that's not a fire lane for a fire truck?
It is.
it is.
It is.
It is.
Not to pass through, but to access the building on that side.
Obviously, if there's a connection,
Please use the microphone, I'm sorry.
if there's a connection in the future, that too would serve as the fire lane.
So what's beyond to the east of that area? Is that a fence?
Right there.
Right there?
Yeah.
So that's a fence? Okay, here's my point. If you were to take the interconnection that we're talking about here and implement it, that's all you need to do. You can still put up the fence. You can still stripe out something for the, I mean, maybe you're thinking because of the garbage, right? But you've made the garbage so it goes in and then it can back out and come back out through that access way. I guess I'm just not sure why the current, when you show us something and tell us how it can't be done, you just put up a fence. If you have a fence there now, that's what you would do, because you're not ready. You don't want to enter into all these negotiations and have people going back and forth. Just keep the fence.
All right, let us.
So that's my point, is of how you could actually put that interconnection on the site plan and not add any more angst to your plate. So the other item, and I do really like the changes to the architecture. You weren't here when we were shown the first pass, but I do have a question. So our code, how long is the building beyond? No, I know that's over 279, but the actual back-of-house building is it's like a 180 or something, 180?
Yeah, I want to be clear, it's one building.
Right.
It's not the front building or back building.
No, I know, but it visually...
I gotcha. Yeah, about 185 feet.
Okay,
Yeah.
so our code requires that to be broken up every 100 feet.
Right, which I think the elevations show that we're doing that with the gable, and there's a setback, and then we're applying wood panel. I know the elevations are not good.
The rendering, I
On the
can't
set.
see it, but when I look at the rendering, I can't really tell.
No, I
but
get
it
it.
looks like it's just one flat roof there. I don't see.
No, on the set you're going to review, yeah, you'll be able to see that there's articulation in the facade.
Yes, but I need that in, it's every 100 feet. You can't go a full 180 feet without
no.
breaking it up.
It's a rendering issue.
I just want to,
I got
I'm
it.
focusing on the code,
I understand.
so, and I can't see it, I'm not quite sure what I'm looking
It's
at.
the page that doesn't show.
Yeah, on the set we sent, you'll be able to see.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a rendering issue.
It's a rendering.
Believe me, I'm texting them right now. Those guys aren't going to want to come in tomorrow.
Okay, we might be able to see it better, but for now, it just looks like it's,
Are these two gables here?
and again, I mean, I understand if it's going to be screened, but, or not seen by, but you, for every applicant who has come before us, we have held their feet and made them.
I understand.
I need that.
Just so you know, on that elevation, are you talking about the roof line specifically?
If you read our code.
No, I get it. I get it. I was just asking.
So it can be done a number of ways.
I got it. And I'm just to
It
let
can
you
be
know,
done a
there's
number of
a
ways. You can
4-foot
put little
eve.
false little,
I got you. I understand.
yes.
Yeah,
doesn't-
but we've built a 4-foot deep eave there so that we can have the building actually have an in and out, which
And
you'll
have you
see
met
in the
my friend
elevation.
Rob here?
I
Because
have,
Rob
yes.
might have some ideas.
I know, I got you.
On
I know.
what you might do.
I think the rendering might not be showing the three-dimensional.
It's behind the building, right?
I just want to make sure that we don't get so far down and go, oh, you know, you didn't do that.
Yeah, the basic.
Okay, so let's talk sidewalks. I understand why the DOT may have asked for that. I'm hearing from everybody, not only your side, that it, technically, all of the work that you would have to do that. And as a Hyde Parker, I understand that I would like a sidewalk there, but I don't think I want to force you to do that. But I would like to bring up the sidewalk in the corridor business district to the south. unless I'm missing something, that should just be a sidewalk.
To the property.
And we have talked a lot, and you continue to tell us how that can all be diverted into your site because as an alternative. But I think somebody up here said that this is becoming a very exciting part of Hyde Park. There's eventually going to go something across the street. There's going to be something, people are going to be walking up Route 9 from both the Culinary and Belfield. Why, if it's required in that district, and you're asking this board to say that they really want you to move the zoning so that it's there, why would the first thing you say is, okay, so we want to change the zoning, we want it to be zoned here because we don't want to have to deal with a 150-foot setback, and oh, by the way, we're not going to put a sidewalk there. So, given the opportunities here for sidewalks, I think the one to the south is making, again, we hear it all the time, it's a sidewalk to nowhere. But, you know what, it's a requirement for the district. You're asking the zoning to be changed so that you can do things within that district. I think at this point, I would like to see the sidewalks. And I'm going to ask, because we just got all these papers and stuff, that the next time we meet, I want everybody to weigh in on those sidewalks. Because I pretty much heard nobody wants to force you to have to go through off your property and deal with all that stuff.
It's a valid point.
So
The sidewalk you're talking about is to the south on the
yeah,
land
it
going
would be
down?
just beyond, in front
Yeah,
of the
there,
pickleball
sports
courts.
Just
I have a
That's
question.
where the central business zone is now?
Yes.
So there's a
It's required in the
sidewalk
CB.
that goes to the south, but it's in the property. Is that public access or no? It is, so that's a sidewalk that goes south.
The code provides that you either have in the
Microphone, Michael.
CB.
Michael.
I'm sorry. It's lying back. In the CB zone, the code provides that you have a sidewalk that runs along Route 9 or an equivalent public
Right.
sidewalk that gives you access to Route 9 and when we...
Understood. My point is, you're offering an alternative if you're going to the Culinary. If I'm trying to get down to Belfield, if I'm trying to get
I
there,
understand.
you haven't provided me an alternative.
But I guess the question becomes, would you rather have people come onto our site and use the sidewalks that run parallel to 9?
I don't know.
Or would you rather have people come and see that sidewalk, take it a little way, and then be walking the rest of the way?
I consider this planning
on
for
grass?
success. Again, you're giving an alternative for people who are going to the Culinary. I'm looking a lot broader and saying, I need something that gets me south. Not necessarily going through and snaking my way through and going across a pedestrian bridge and then finding I'm here on vacation, or I just bought a condo over in Belfield, and I found that I really like, I don't know why, walking up Teller Hill, because I don't have any hills where I used to live, and this is great. I'm just saying, this is why the code talks about things like this, because it's not well, nobody's going to use it right now. This is an exciting time. In 10 years, we're going to look at this and say, who knew?
Let us talk.
Okay, so
We're here.
this came up because I'm trying to write a letter of recommendation to the town board about why you should rezone. And if the first thing I have to say is, but they're not going to do this, I'm like, Okay, so then, do I have anything else? Interconnection. And I also really want to see some way of people to access without having to go all the way into the back. Here's where I'm coming from. Again, planning for success. You get that up, you've got this retail space. Everybody and their brother wants to go here. It's on their top list. Go to FDR, go to the retail spot right in front of NRI. Guess where they're going to park? A lot of them. they're going to park at the beer store.
Yep.
And they're going to walk over, and they're going to say,
She's not wrong.
They're not going to walk.
well, but they may, I mean, again, you talk about signage and this and that.
Yeah.
I see something here, it looks great. Somebody told me, you can't miss it. You get to the top of the hill, it's on your left, you want to go in there. Do that. So I would like to see some kind of access, because people they're going to park there. NRI is going to end up buying that sooner than later, because they're not going to want to hear all the complaints about how popular their place is and people are parking off-site. Anyway.
Maybe I'm missing something here.
Misunderstanding. Are you talking about a pedestrian connection?
I'm talking about a door.
A door.
A door. There is a door, access to the retail.
The door in the front
Yes.
seems unanimous.
Just so everybody.
But I'm just telling you why, because if you know, anyway.
For the record, I just want to say, there is a sidewalk. There's a sidewalk along the northern side of the building as well. It abuts the neighbor's parcel. There's also doors as well on the northern side of the building.
That was my question at the beginning, and
Because it's, again, we just got this stuff, so.
Are those egress, like emergency egress doors though? They're not, or are they doors into the main retail space?
It's a door into the space. It's really meant for egress. We can sign
Like
it and put...
emergency egress?
No.
Like,
Yeah,
so
egress.
people could walk in and enter the space?
Well, that is TBD. It's,
Oh.
you know, I mean, it depends on who takes the
I mean,
retail
obviously
space.
you don't know who's going in, but
And there's a huge security challenge. I've been doing retail my whole life, guys.
Plan for success.
I got you.
Plan for
I got you.
people who are going to be there all the time.
If that front sidewalk can go around to that door.
So you've heard from all of us, that's pretty much everything that I had. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak to this application?
Yes, I would.
I do like Any more comments?
That was very good comments you made there.
Okay, so, here's where we're at, right? We still need to absorb the submission that was made today. I do not think that we'll be able to do, I mean, you should see our workload.
excuse me.
You should see our workload, trying to get through everything. So I would expect on the 17th that we'll be able to distill our comments. We might be this close to understanding the seeker. So we might be really close, but I don't think we're going to be there. Okay? But that's not a big deal.
No.
It's not a big deal. A few more weeks. Okay?
Okay.
So when would you like us to adjourn the public hearing to?
The next meeting. We love being.
That's the 17th.
That's the 17th. May I?
I'm based on.
Microphone,
what-
please. You keep thinking that the
I
thing
know, I'm
that
sorry.
the laptop.
We're getting you a headset for Christmas.
I need one of those. Based on what I'm hearing, and that the 17th would hopefully be a meeting where you would feel comfortable after that, making a secret determination at your January meeting. So we'll be here.
We're getting so close on
Well,
so many of these.
If you hear, and one of the reasons why, and I apologize if I interrupted you a couple of times on the road connection, is really all the other issues we've talked about are really not impact secret issues. They're really more amending site plan,
Well, and
landscaping
sometimes it's just
these.
doing calculations and waivers for parking.
Right.
Okay? That's the one thing I heard that directly impacts seeker. Okay?
Well, we will
So-
go
But
back.
we're so close.
We will go
We're getting
back
close.
tomorrow and pull out where we wrote
Yep.
those and make a submission the next day or two on that. But, so to your point, yes, we would like to be adjourned
Then
the public hearing.
then may
to
I
the
get a
next
motion
meeting.
to adjourn the public hearing to December 17th?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
There you go, you're on for the 17th.
Just wanted to clarify, on that sidewalk that we were speaking of on the CB, you're talking about an extension within the right-of-way or an extension internal to the site that kind of meanders around the tree?
No, this would be along Route 9.
Along Route 9, okay.
Yeah, no.
Thank you.
Wasn't going to tell him, but.
Thank you.
Chair, could we also Could you please, you referenced the letter recommendation on the zoning to the town board, because they do have the
I'm
hearing.
working on it. You're going to send me you're going to send me a link, or you're going to send me something, right?
Right, I knew that.
Remember,
Okay, well, I wasn't sure what you wanted from,
well, all I have is just the petition, and it-
oh,
and you
okay.
said you had,
Then I'll send
you
you
had given
that
some other
tomorrow.
materials.
Sure, thank you.
Okay.
And would you also,
Which I think I was authorized at the last meeting to write that letter.
correct, correct. And they have a public hearing on the 8th. They need that letter before their public hearing.
Right, but they
They can't take an
They can't take
action,
any
but they
action.
can, the public hearing's been noticed, they'll hold the public hearing.
I'm sorry, I
I'm not
missed the
sh-
discussion. Are you?
He's requesting the...
The zoning
so the letter recommending the rezone.
Right, but you were just saying you wanted them, before you would write that, you were asking them to.
Yes, I
to
feel
show
like
they
I'm,
can
I feel like
comply
I'm.
with the zoning.
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Does it, I mean, we just talked about the requirement for the sidewalk in that zone.
We talked about a number of things. The question I have is, how would you like us to come back to you with a response and an updated plan set?
So, okay, I would say that at this point, with the submission, everyone needs to take a look at it.
Okay.
They're going to come up with questions. There'll be maybe amended comment letters coming from the consultants. That will set the stage for, okay, what kind of a list are we looking at? What's really outstanding? What can be put on as waivers? Is seeker closed out at that point? Okay?
It seems like, so we'll offer our perspectives on that stretch of sidewalk at the next meeting, and so just, I suppose, taking a look at any potential challenges that would be involved with that would be a, good move.
I'm sorry, are we talking about the southern side?
Yes, the southern.
Okay.
We're not talking about the...
property.
So
you've kind of heard
with
across the
respect
board
to
now.
the zoning petition,
Anyway, I'm pulling that together.
you're pulling that
And I
together.
told you that I found it difficult if I'm going to
I'll-
recommend something only to say that, but they don't want to do one of the major requirements of the zone.
Well, that.
Anyway.
That stretch, the pickleball court's already in the CB zoning. The zoning's not affecting that small strip.
Yes,
You're
it
rezoning
does. That's
that
why
to
you moved it
CB.
there.
I don't think that's to say we left
Otherwise, you would have had to put those pickleball courts 150 feet
it in the
back.
CB.
What is
It's
Check the-
existing,
Check the zoning map.
it's existing
I think
Victoria
you're right.
CB.
So this is why we all need to go off and just check our checklists and figure it out, okay?
Okay, but we would appreciate that.
So my comment letter may say, we are still discussing the project. I'm working on it. It's-
Okay.
Well, so, because the town board can't take action anyways, so.
What I was gonna write a letter saying, I need more time, because we're still working
Good. I think that's
on
a
all
good
this
solution.
stuff.
On zoning, on the zoning, per se?
It kind of goes part and parcel with the project, right? You're requesting the zoning for this plan and.
But the zoning was, the zoning, I thought we were all in agreement, and doesn't really affect some of the issues we're talking about. The zoning was, I thought, agreed to.
Right, you're bringing the SAD up, you're bringing the SAD closer and taking up a lot of
We're
CB.
We're certainly doing
because
the
you're-
SAD, but the sidewalk and the sidewalk that
So
you're
I'm in
talking
the
about.
process
where's
of
the,
reading through
entrance?
all of that. I'll either ask for an extension or I'll write a letter.
Is that the entrance?
Okay.
Okay.
Discuss the sidewalk issue for you to write that letter, if you're struggling
Well,
with that.
that portion is already in the CB.
Okay.
They're bringing the SAD up.
Yeah, it is in the CB, and the SAD's going around it.
Right.
Right. But the SAD, again.
There's so many items.
SAD doesn't affect the zoning application
Michael,
that we
go
want the
home.
recommendation.
The town board
night.
can't make a
Good
decision
night.
anyways.
He's
until
got a long
seeker-
drive home.
Michael, the town board can't make a decision until seeker's done anyways, so
Thank you for your input this evening and your comments that
make
you
an
gave
open
us.
hearing without it.
Thank
We
you.
look forward to seeing you on the 17th.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you so
I
much.
don't see why not.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, we like the.
Go like this, Michael.
You
Pat
can give me
yourself on the back.
keeps with your theme
Our next
originally.
item on the agenda
There's
is,
ways to
we're done
have
with
a
new public
patio in the
hearings.
back for the cafeteria.
Our next item on the agenda is a continued public hearing.
Sorry.
Sorry.
That's good, all right. Oh, you know what, we'll take 5 minutes.
Yeah, I just
I'm
wanted to
losing
get
a lot
him
of memories.
You can push the mute button.
I know, but
Continued public hearing with Belfield. This is for the Sterling PUD Phase 2, FDP Lot 8. May I get a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Reopen the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Terrific. Thanks for having us here again tonight, and we'll keep this quick, but this is going to be mainly updating the board on where we're at.
Yep.
Pass Road did submit the next site plan set, so it's all updated with comments, updated architecture, updated landscape architecture. That was submitted today. The hard copies were submitted today. The electronic copy came in yesterday. So you have that. Chris also issued the SWIP, and so that was circulated to Pete, Tad, Cynthia, and we're going to plot some, we'll plot it out tomorrow and get it to everybody. So the site plans are done, and the SWIP, the full SWIP is done for review. And Lynn just sent me the easements today, the rest of the balance of the easements, so I have them. I'll circulate those. We are making very good progress with the fire chief. He's telling us we'll get a comment letter on Friday, but we did work through some of his major concerns, and we're happy with the progress. As a result of that, we might have to modify some easements a little bit. We're still, finalizing the site plan. And with that, our next meeting is with the town board on Monday night. And then, so just to, I know you got a ton of work, but.
It's been written.
Okay.
It's been reviewed.
Good. So
I will be sending tomorrow.
Yep.
The comment letter to the town board for the height and length variations.
Terrific. And that's really it for tonight.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. And we're looking forward to...
Larry. Right, Larry.
Larry, you had to read a room.
Yeah. We're looking forward to coming back on the 17th, the full team here, and then wrapping this thing up.
Excellent. Okay. I'm just going to do a quick tour around. Tad, any comments?
No comments.
Okay. Ms. Franson?
No comments.
Mr. Sotero? No. You're looking at the SWIP, right?
Not right now, but.
Well, not this moment. Ms. Polidoro?
Yeah, I haven't looked at it yet, but no
Okay.
comments.
Mr. Tuttle?
We lost our guy from Sterling. We lost one of our contact.
Well, there's a new PM being assigned to it.
Okay.
That's just the way these things go.
Sure.
And the full team will be here the 17th.
Great. Just looking forward
Yep.
to whoever
Yep.
we're going to work with next.
It's still
Great.
full steam ahead.
Yep.
Full steam ahead. Off we go. So,
Cool.
Excellent.
Okay.
Yeah. Good.
Oh, okay.
That's
yeah.
We're getting on well with him. So that's good.
Same architect, same team, same team.
Great.
Anything
Thank you.
else?
No, nothing else. No.
Mr. Waters?
No comment.
Ms. Wasser?
Oh, I'm sorry, and I just want to say, I said I would look at the lighting plan, and I did look at the lighting plan. It looks good. Nothing stood out to me, so I just wanted to tell you that. There's a few spots in the parking lot where it seemed like it could be a little more even, but that's just a suggestion more than anything.
Okay,
else.
terrific. All right.
Ms. Wasser?
Oh, I said no.
Okay, sorry.
It's all right. And then
Mr.
Bill
Oliver?
added in.
No comments.
Ms. Lee?
No comments at this time.
Great.
Mr. Gercio?
No comments?
Great.
Okay. Would anybody in the audience like to speak to this application? Okay. So you are asking us to adjourn the public
Yep.
hearing to the 17th.
Yep.
Don't we have something? We do. I think we have something.
Oh,
We
yeah.
have a resolution reaffirming the secret determination. So let me get a motion to adjourn the public hearing to the 17th.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And,
I've got this one.
good.
Okay. Resolution to reaffirm a secret determination of significance, negative declaration, Belfield amended final development plan, Phase 2, Phase 2B, Sterling Apartments, Site Plan, Lot 8, Resolution 2025-54A, whereas. Now therefore be it resolved that based upon the entire record before us, the planning board hereby determines, 1, the extensive environmental record before the planning board is sufficient to assess the potential impact of the project. 2, the project and its related subdivision plat relating to Lot 8 and surrounding lands are in substantial accordance with the seeker findings statement adopted by the planning board on December 8, 2021, and by the town board as involved agency on December 20th, 2021, and will not create any significant adverse effect upon the environment, nor will it result in any new or potentially significant adverse environmental impacts that have not been previously addressed or were inadequately addressed in the existing EIS, and there is no need to prepare a supplemental environmental impact statement, nor any need to amend the previously adopted seeker findings. The planning board continues to retain jurisdiction within its final development plan, site plan, and subdivision authority to impose conditions it deems appropriate to maintain such consistency. 3, the board hereby reaffirms its previous certification initially adopted on December 8, 2021 that the requirements of the seeker regulations have been met, and that, consistent with social, economic, and other essential considerations from among the reasonable alternatives available, that the action hereby taken is one that avoids or minimizes adverse environmental impacts to the maximum extent practicable.
Is there a second?
Is that me? Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you very much.
I think it's the fastest 2 times we've seen you.
Thank you.
I didn't even have to unroll my warrants.
All right, that is it for public hearings for the evening. We're now going to enter into workshop. Our next item on the agenda is the Caris Memory Care at Belfield.
Wait, hold on, hang on.
Yes.
Jennifer, second.
Oh, thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening again.
Welcome back.
You know, right?
Let's see.
Right.
Most of the things that we were asked for are clarifications on numbers,
Yep.
clarifications on notes.
Well, you
There
also-
weren't a lot of substantive. We have, a couple of the renderings that we've talked about and those types of things, and then we've got the road. But for the most part, I think we've resolved, I don't think we have a lot
We didn't-
of design or
What about
engineering.
landscaping in the parking lot?
We didn't discuss the
and-
parking lot much tonight, and that's something that we probably should touch
Let
on.
me address it, because I saw it in the county letter also. So, we did consult with a solar canopy developer. There's and I think we laid it out, there's a number of steps.
Sure.
We have to go through analysis and, we are going to do that. We can't commit in any conditions to that, but we are going to pursue that, but if not, we're willing to do the colored pavement.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll.
You mean porous pavement?
Or it's,
They have a lighter colored pavement. It's almost like a whitish gray to eliminate reduce the heat island effect. It reduces the asphalt temperatures by about 30 degrees.
It was included in also the county letter, the use of cool pavement materials.
Right.
Which is considered a way to reduce the heat. So we'll submit that. When we submit that, we'll put that in our specs too.
so you'd be asking us to consider that as the
Correct.
accepted plan,
Correct.
and then if
The
you end up with
mitigation.
solar canopies, great, you end up with solar
And the
canopies, but-
condition, and the findings can be that we will pursue in good faith on the solar canopies, which we've done, and
No, I mean, we're not going to put a future action. on it.
No,
I think the
no.
plan
Okay.
is what you're
It's up-
proposing.
It's up
Right,
to you.
right.
I have done conditions where we make it, but that's up to you. We are committing to that process. We just can't commit to build that yet until we know there is there's sufficient sun, there's sufficient,
No,
you
understood.
know, there's a
understood.
lot of steps to building.
All right, so fire department and parking.
But just to be clear, if the planning board doesn't waive this landscaping requirement, it is going to be a big redesign. So that's the,
Well, with the cool pavement
I hear you.
would be the
Right, but
alternative.
You should probably get a sense from us sooner rather than later whether we're
Yeah.
okay with that idea.
That's what I'm
Because
saying.
it's-
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, tell us.
Well, no, I mean, I think,
So I mean, all right. So we just received this yesterday, right? There's a lot of stuff to absorb. I would ask that the board go off and just, familiarize yourself with your comfort level of alternatives to the parking. You'll meet with the fire department, and then we'll work on what the resolution would ultimately say for something like that, to close secret.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I know.
Another offline
Yep.
meeting?
So again,
Do you want an
we're offering offline meetings we can do multiple ones.
We
can
will-
Zoom, we can.
Look, we're gonna have an offline meeting on the road. We're gonna prepare something, and we should sit down and talk about it.
And I'd really like if you could have Dylan and Chris there, because.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we'll have an offline meeting and any other issues that we need to have.
We might need for
We'll-
parking.
We'll go to work tomorrow on whatever the open issues are.
Okay. Again, we're just trying to work through all of these. And that's what I've been saying. We're just trying to work through the
Yeah,
process.
you've been great.
Okay, all
I
right.
appreciate it.
All right, so.
This is-
Go home and go to sleep.
Yes.
What?
She just said, get out. No. Kind of.
Debbie, I'll go.
We kind of killed this thing 6 days to
Yes,
Sunday.
exactly. But again, it's so much. Thank you so much,
Thank
guys.
you.
Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
We said one question.
Thank you.
We didn't set up hearing.
I think
Oh,
before you,
Which,
Go ahead.
there was a lot of concerns about the northern elevation of the building. I think before we go ahead and render anything, I think maybe an offline meeting, maybe with Robert and Gabrielle.
Yeah, that'd be
may
great.
A better way before we
Yeah,
render anything.
Michael will
That'd be
contact
great.
contact you all and try to set up either a virtual on the north.
We'll make sure we'll label the elevations correctly.
up to you. I got 2 meetings left, baby. I'm like, whatever you want to do is okay with me.
Can we schedule,
So,
Third is, yeah, I'd rather the 3rd than the 17th.
what?
now this is true.
Let's,
All right, so listen, let's,
yeah, they won't have time to do, will they have time to do anything?
there won't be much to, so may I get a motion to set a public hearing for December 3rd?
So moved.
I hesitate, nobody.
Second.
Can I get a motion to set a public hearing for December 17th?
So moved.
Second.
There you go. All in favor, any discussion?
Aye.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
What?
There you go.
We
So-
have
Wait a
two-
second. So you said we move it to the 17th?
Yeah, there was no second.
Oh, I thought I heard Chris second. Okay.
No. They-
You want to do it again?
I think Dylan motioned it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I heard everybody say second.
All right. All right, it's
We're
set,
getting punchy.
motion
Yeah.
to set public hearing for December 3rd.
So moved.
Second.
There you go. All in favor, please say aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm gonna stand up for a second.
Take 5 minutes just to stretch if you need.
5 minute break.
5 minutes, yes.
532 Salt Point Turnpike Storage. This is site plan approval for storage units. That sounds easy, it's a little bit more involved than that.
Yes, thank you. I'm Kelly Leibold and Amy Argerakis with KRC Planning.
Thank you. We're all getting deep up here.
Yes, so we have a presentation prepared, however, it's the same presentation that we provided to you last time. And so for purposes of efficiency, my understanding is that this board has consented to the town board being the seeker lead agent for this project, but this board is going to conduct a seeker review and make a recommendation to the town board. With that in mind, I think the best use of our time this evening is to identify any additional items, reports, technical documents, and so forth that this board would like us to prepare so that we can be very efficient and respond to the board. We do have a question relative to traffic, and so we'd like to certainly discuss that and intersections and other projects and so forth. But other than that, we're interested to see what else the board and I think the consultants might like.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, because before we get into all these details, it's
yes, let's get everything in.
Like, where are we and what materials do we need?
Yes.
And
now that we know where we are.
This is very different, and I'll be really honest, I've looked at our consultants and Tad and just said,
help.
We're all going to have to.
Yeah, we'll all work together on this.
We're going to have to check in just to make sure we do this so that it's done properly. So I'm going to start with Tad.
I know that there are a significant number of variances that are needed. I have not looked at all of them. That will come tomorrow. I've been working on other things.
Yeah. Well, we know the one is scale, right? Okay, we've been talking about that.
One is scale,
Yep.
there's distance, there's the stream corridor, there's probably a flood development permit, there's,
I mean, we're happy to sit if you
Yard
want to do an
setbacks
offline meeting.
I was
and
going to
just-
say
yeah.
that this might be of the nature
and just
that-
identify the list if you want
Yeah.
to try to set something next week, and we can sit and
Yeah.
just go through that list.
Yeah.
Because we would, of course, love to get a plan that looks reasonable, and then we go over to the ZBA and have a discussion with them.
Once we do seeker.
We can start with them and just have a
Yes,
discussion with
this is
them,
true.
at least get some
We can do
input,
parallel.
and then
Yep.
come back to you for
Yep.
seeker. So I think it would be, this is one of those cart horse and
Yep.
pulling a car at the same time, so there's three different things.
No, and that's where offline meetings are very helpful.
Yes, okay, so we'll reach out and see if we can
Yep.
address those area
Yep.
variances. Okay,
Excellent. Huh,
one done.
there you go. Bonnie.
Next?
There is a stream that goes across. It seems like a fair amount has been disturbed. What activities are going on there now? So, and whether those have any potential effects? And has anyone thought about, or has there been scheduled a field visit to look at the site?
This is we definitely want to go to that site.
Okay.
So this will be part of our discussion.
Okay, great, because I think
It's going to be key, I think.
Yeah, to comment on
Yeah.
seeker, we just need to see what it looks like.
Sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because we understand that there's sloping and it's kind of a
It would help
large
to go to the
parcel
site,
and-
yeah,
Yep.
we're happy to do that.
Yeah,
Whenever
thank
the
you.
board wants to go and schedule a meeting.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Pete?
Well, sorry, wow, throwing stuff at me, huh? We discussed on our call, and I was speaking with Kelly on, several different projects, but, to get through like seeker, we would need something from the Department of Transportation saying that they would allow an access there. I think anybody driving by there, can see that there could be an issue, with sight distance there, right at, the corner there, it's right on a corner. We would need a preliminary stormwater pollution prevention plan to see if they can control, the drainage. There's a lot of, impervious area packed in there. There's a fairly steep hill behind the site. There was also some talk about a concern about moving, the stream, and then at the same time, we have a 100-foot, buffer on the stream, so you're making the 100-foot infringement on somebody else's property, greater by moving, the stream now. So, those are just, my, those are, my things.
Right. Thank you. Those were kind of our top three
Yeah.
items. Victoria?
I don't have anything additional to add to the
Okay.
list.
Dylan? This is a weird one.
Yeah, it is. I mean, feels like CBA's driving the train on this one a little bit. Like, we have this scale variance that's, I imagine, necessary to make this project feasible. And it's a pretty
Big
big
one.
ask. And so I'm hesitant. I don't know how, like, I mean, it's sort of up to you, but like, how deep down the rabbit hole do we want to get on this thing before you've got a perspective from the ZBA and before, you know?
Sure. In order to get to the ZBA, we just need to get that list from Tad. And
Yeah.
so I think
Yep.
the primary issue should be sitting with her, getting that list, and then move to the ZBA. So hopefully tonight, this board can, I don't think we need your authorization to go to the ZBA, but if you can give us the
No.
nod that we can go to the ZBA, and then that's the next board that we would go
Yep.
to. And again, it's going to be a back and forth, so they're going to need
Yes.
to opine in on it, and then we're going to obviously need to come back here. They can't take action until this board, you know.
Yep.
completes.
Right, but I think that's very important.
You know, so I mean, I'll say sort of off the bat here that I'm concerned about the scale of the project and the amount of work that they're proposing to do on the site and the amount of activity, everything that they want to do on here. It's a pretty constrained site, and it's packing a lot in there, and that involves just, there's a lot to do for it. The scale of the variances being requested speaks to that. I won't go further than that right now. We've had some particular issues come up, but I think this is a challenging one. This is a tough one.
Yeah, I think the purpose, thank you, Dylan, for tonight's meeting is really to just collectively try to get everything that's going to go into the bowl, and then we'll start to, you know, deal with the balls in the air.
Yep.
But that's helpful, thank you.
Yep. Mr. Waters?
Nothing else.
Ms. Wasser?
No, I think the scale and the stream are enough to wait on.
Mr. Oliver?
I think for me, the site walk's going to be key, and I also agree with Pete on the DOT and the, you know, strange part of that intersection.
Okay.
But, you know, obviously that's kind of outside of us, but that's
Right.
For secret purposes, that's where I'm at.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Lee?
Yeah, I have no comment right now until after you speak with Tad offline and we get a little further down the process.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Grucio?
No comment.
Okay. I would say the concerns that I've heard are my concerns.
Okay.
Site walk, I think, will be very important, but really distilling down, working with Tad, identifying all the variances that are needed, and just laying out the fabric of what we're facing is the most important piece.
Understood. Okay.
But I don't see anything, you know, that seeker does its thing, right?
It'll work out.
Exactly. I mean, that's the whole point.
We'll work through it.
And yeah, sometimes the mitigation is what is either a make or a break.
Yes, of course.
Yep, so
They will.
we'll just kick it off and.
Okay. I just have a couple of questions.
In December or deeper into the winter? You're waiting for the ZBA conversation?
No, they're waiting.
We're going to meet next week.
We're going to do an
Just
offline
just
meeting.
wait for Tad.
We're going to do an offline meeting next week. And then, I mean, we can set a site walk
Yeah, whatever.
anytime.
Yep.
Might be your last one.
I have a couple of questions, if
Yes.
I could. Pete, just one more is on water and sewer, just a preliminary reports on a letter on how we're going to address that.
Yeah, I mean, for that facility, I mean, there's,
like 2 bathrooms.
yeah, I mean, there's not going to be a lot of water and
Okay.
sewer, so,
Yep.
I
Okay.
mean, just.
And the house, right?
Yeah, just in those, that's where the bathrooms would be, yeah. And they're there now.
Yeah, so, I mean,
okay.
just a
Something,
narrative
a
or
letter.
something
Yep,
on that.
okay.
I don't think that's a huge issue.
Okay, and then second, on a traffic report, so we obviously would need to provide you with some traffic study, and so the only intersection really that is directly affected here is the one across the street. We did identify, I think, another project that Cynthia had provided to us in the area, so when we do the traffic study, we look at existing conditions, and we look at proposed conditions with this build-out and other projects being built in the area. And so I think there was only one other project that
The
we...
Enclave.
The Enclave, yep, that we had identified. Yep.
It's also Salt Point Center.
you
by the
should
way. I guess that's a little further away. It might not be.
You should check with Poughkeepsie too, right? To
Yeah.
see if, I don't know,
That would be pretty far, but yeah.
well, that's true, yeah, right, they are a little far. But I mean, you should, you know,
And it
that's on a state and county, you know, then you have
State
the.
highway.
Right across the street is, you know, the county road, so, I mean, I don't know, I don't think that they would want you to do anything else, but it may not be like a bad idea just to check in with, you know, the traffic people at, you know, the state and the county and see if they're gonna want anything else before you hire
Mhm.
somebody to go out and
We'll
do
check with them,
study.
okay, because we have someone ready to start, and we just wanted to make sure that we confirm the scope. So that would be the only intersection that I see as being directly impacted.
Yes,
Okay, and then we'll
I
touch
agree.
base
That
with
makes
Bob
sense.
Valkine and
Yeah.
New York State
I
DOT.
agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think those were our questions, just as far as scope. Okay.
So Kelly, when you
Microphone, please.
relocate the, when you relocate the stream and if it impacts the flood zone, will that increase the flood area downstream if you're compressing the volume?
I'll get an
we'll
answer,
have
yep.
to- Yeah, we'll have to look at that.
Okay. All right, so we have our homework, and we will start preparing some of these
That's what we figured
documents.
tonight would be, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we were hoping for. And then we will get back to you and let you know. If you want to do a site visit, in the meantime, if you're out doing other site visits and you want to piggyback this on, just reach out to us and we can certainly make that happen.
I'll tell you
it
what, if
snows.
you can get with Cynthia and just
Okay.
find out from the property owner.
Yeah, what would be good?
Yeah, exactly.
Might be nice to do it before snow.
That would be best, but
Yeah.
we have done.
We've done them always.
We've done them always.
Okay, all right. very
100,
good.
110 degrees or minus
Two
20 in the
below.
wind blowing.
Okay,
so-
very well. Okay. All right, thank you, everyone. Have a
Thank you
wonderful
so
night.
much.
Thank you.
All right,
Happy
take care.
Thanksgiving.
Happy
Yes, happy
You too.
Thanksgiving.
I mean, it's not coming up.
Remember.
Next item on the agenda, other business. Millfield Phase 2B subdivision workshop.
You need an office here, Larry.
Hi there.
Yes, hi, thank you for having us back.
We went and took a nap.
They went out to dinner
Yeah.
in the city.
You guys look more similar every time you come here. You're
That's really funny.
Yeah, we both have that.
That's actually super
Black
funny.
jeans.
That's true. Workout.
Oh, my goodness.
So we submitted on November 6th, and we were informed that, because we were adding Lot 4A, that we needed to have a public hearing on that matter. So we scrambled and pulled everything together on that. And so I think we're looking for, to set the public hearing at the next meeting on December 3rd. But when we, well, no buts, but when we submitted, we responded to preliminary plat comments, you know, to make it a final plat. So we did that, and of course, the biggest thing that we submitted were the book of easements that we submitted over to
Thank you for that.
everybody. And then also the attorneys and surveyors and us, we reviewed the table that kind of outlines all the easements on it, and went back and forth on that. And I know Victoria has particular interest in that. So the table of easements stuff, which is pretty tough to get through, but it's there. Lynn went through it multiple times. If you had any questions on that, we would like to get a final, you know.
They're going to add one now for drainage in the back.
Well, I told Chris to look at the grading and see if he could tighten it up.
Yeah.
And get it off the lot line. If not, we may just add a wall for now, to make it clean and keep this thing going.
Okay.
Does the new roundabout fit? Oh, I'm sorry. Does the
Yeah.
new roundabout fit in
Yep.
that
Yep.
area? Okay.
Yep, it looks bigger because of the
Yeah.
sidewalk.
Okay.
You know, it's really the same size. He did a great job. Dave did a great job with it. There's one section on the west side of that where we can't get the walk out as wide as he wanted because of the grading down to the wetland area. So. But it'll be close. It'll be close. But all the, we checked everything, closed everything, the surveyor wrote a easement certifying to all the easements, something that Pete wanted. So So we included that. And any comments that you have here tonight that I can address and respond to.
Thank you. Tad, any more comments there?
No.
Okay. Bonnie? Pete?
No, other than, so what you said was that this, like, submission that you made, just recently made, like, addressed a lot of the preliminary plat conditions, so we need to go through and
Yes.
just see which ones are checked off
Yep.
on this, and then, so if
And there
we're
might
gonna...
be the additional one.
Well, yeah, right, but so that if we're gonna go
Okay.
do something on the 3rd, then
Then we're looking
we
to
want to
do
make sure
final.
we know what, like, conditions
Yep.
are left, if any. Okay.
We would,
All right.
we're shooting for none, but we know there might be a couple.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Toria?
Hi, we're just talking procedurally about the public hearing. I haven't gotten through all the easements yet, but we'll make our way through it.
Okay. Yeah, because we're looking to try to make sure that the ones that were on for preliminary, that list goes down, right? That they've met a bunch of them, and find out if there's any that need to be added.
Yep.
So,
So the board is setting, you're going to approve basically the preliminary and final plat at the same time.
yep. Because it's got the new Lot 4A in there.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. I keep forgetting about that little guy. Anything else?
No.
Mr. Tuttle?
No comments.
Mr. Waters?
No comments.
Ms. Wasser?
No comments.
Mr. Oliver?
No comments.
Ms. Lee?
No comment.
Mr. Gercio?
No comments.
Terrific.
My only comment was when we were discussing the architecture and the drainage around there, and you were talking about how it went beyond the bounds a little bit.
Yeah.
Should that,
Yeah, she was saying that we got to deal with that. So I asked Chris to look at the grading, see if he can tighten it up, get it, keep it.
this is where you're
within
talking
the
about
lot.
maybe putting the wall in?
Yep, keep it within the lot, and then we'll take a look at it.
Okay.
And if I have to add an easement, I'll get with Lynn, the transactional attorney, and we'll create an easement.
Okay. So what I didn't hear you say is, or we would change the lot.
Oh, no, we're not changing the
Okay.
lot.
Good answer.
Yeah, not changing that.
Good answer.
Just wanted to be
That's
clear on that.
locked in.
Okay, great. That was my only comment. So can I get a motion to set a public hearing for the Belfield PUD Phase 2B subdivision final plat? Preliminary and final, thank you, for December 3rd.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I don't
There you
remember
go.
now.
Great, thank you, and have a great night.
And happy Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Everybody,
Yeah, I
thank
think
you.
the rest of the stuff is,
Yeah, you're right. We've approved
Oh,
this
now we
already.
do easy stuff.
There we go.
Yep.
We're not.
The next item
Can
on
we
the
move
agenda
car
is a
start?
site plan waiver approval for a 3-season rear addition at 46 Horseshoe Drive. Dylan, I believe you have
Yep,
this
I've got this one. Hyde Park Planning Board Site Plan Waiver, 46 Horseshoe Drive, Resolution Number 2025-58. Whereas a request for site plan waiver has been made to the Town of Hyde Park Planning Board by Cynthia Stewart to construct a 3-season room addition on the rear of the existing single-family home. And whereas, therefore be it resolved that the Town of Hyde Park Planning Board hereby waives site plan requirements for proposed changes as described in the request for a waiver of site plan received by the Planning Department on November 8th, 2025, and in the building permit application dated October 24th, 2025.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is a site plan waiver for Ronald and Susan Roberts, I believe.
That's me.
Ms. Lee has it.
Ronald and Susan Roberts at 53 Mulford Avenue in Statsburg, 6167-03-176391, site plan waiver, resolution number 2025-59. Whereas a request for site plan waiver has been made to the Town of Hyde Park Planning Board by Robert and Susan Roberts to install a heat pump on the side of the existing single-family home located at 53 Mulford Avenue, and whereas Now therefore it be resolved, the Town of Hyde Park Planning Board hereby waives site plan requirements for the proposed changes as described in the October 15th, 2025 building permit application and request for a waiver of site plan received on October 31st, 2025.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion, any nays or abstention? Motion carries unanimously. Next item on the agenda is a site plan waiver for Infinity Hyde Park LLC.
Okay, got that one. Infinity Hyde Park LLC, 26 Vanderbilt Lane, site plan waiver, resolution number 2025-60. Whereas an application requesting a waiver of site plan has been made to the Town of Hyde Park Planning Board by Infinity Hyde Park LLC on September 10, 2025, for property located at 26 Vanderbilt Lane, Town of Hyde Park. And whereas, now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Hyde Park Planning Board hereby waives site plan requirements for the proposed change as described in the building permit received by the Building Department on September 10th, 2025, and per the request of the Planning Board dated September 10th, 2025.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Oh, yes. Next item on the agenda is to consider consenting to lead agency for the DCWWA request for seeker lead agency for the Greenfields Interconnection Project. So we either have or they're sending a consent form. We met with them this week and just said that, you know, we would vote to consent to have them be seeker as long as they keep us in the loop and give us, you know, let us know where they stand with all the materials and other approvals.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I was saving that one.